So I have a question.
Stop right now.
John, no.
You us. We went into that situation with trust in our hearts, and you us.
We're talking about the predictions from last week, from last year. John said he won. He crowned himself king. Complete botched the answers. Niamh won.
I won. Of course I won. Of course I won.
So I was in my local...
John.
No, stop.
John, you're not doing this. Who gives a shit about the cafe?
You gotta fess up.
Okay, so just so I have this right, you guys are under the impression that I changed the answers to... what was it, the game of the year? This year's game of the year.
Yes.
Our predictions.
Okay, cool.
Stop
cool.
trying to vague us on this.
No, Brian, I would never. First of all, I would never. Second of all, I'm just trying to get the facts clear before we kind of...
Okay, you were talking around this,
Yeah.
and I said that you bamboozled us, and you did bamboozle
You
us.
did, yeah.
Okay.
And this is more bamboozling. You're like throwing off like
And
70%.
how would I have done this specifically?
I'm not even justifying this. You tallied it up wrong on purpose.
Botch the answers.
I'm dyslexic, Niamh.
Well, okay, so then you admit there's probably an issue here and we need to recount it. And
Well, I think if there's
That's true, yeah.
I think if there's an issue, it probably comes down to my dyslexia. But unfortunately, the way we've done every game of the year up until now is that we do the contest, we accept the results, and we move on. But we can file away all these complaints for next year. How about that?
No.
John, I will eat your eyes.
Yeah. I'll fucking eat the rest, honestly.
Okay, so first of all, clearly this can't be a question of my character because I'm John, the Johnster, guys.
Honest John.
Honest John. That's my Among Us name.
That sounds like something a liar would say.
No one can play Among Us with me because every time I'm the alien, immediately I'm just like, guys, it's me, because I just can't. I can't deceive people.
As someone who's played that game with you, that's just a lie.
Yeah.
Dishonest John.
You're a sneaky little fucker.
Okay, first of all, sneaky little fucker, that hurt. But Niamh, to take my sacred name and add a diss onto the start of it, that stings so fucking much.
I'm going to rip your arms off and beat you with them.
Okay.
And I'm not going to eat them.
Okay. Could it be possible that someone
Yeah, you.
took down
You.
last year's game of the year,
John.
re-edited the answers, and uploaded an incorrect file? Because my notebook did say the answers.
Okay, you know what?
Yeah, okay.
This time last year, we got a lovely new editor. His name is Oni.
Hi.
You said, I'll handle the last 15 minutes of that episode. And
Yeah.
you edited it yourself and then gave the remaining bit of it to Oni and he stitched it together. So, yeah, John, that was you.
That was a different episode, Brian. I edited my glorious victory last year because I wanted to use a very specific music and timing.
Oh, yeah, that's true, actually.
Okay, so clearly Brian doesn't know what he's talking about, so we can just get him out of here.
Niamh, please help. I fucked up.
I just you're having a real Lisa Rinna moment, and you might not know what that means, but I know what that means, and anyone who watches Real Housewives knows what that means, and it speaks a lot to your character.
Okay, Niamh's making way more sense than I am. Okay?
Yeah, okay, clearly.
You're just lying. You're lying, and you won't own it. And I'm the queen.
Well, no, it's just...
I'm the queen of the podcast.
Like, Niamh, there's a lot of confusion kind of flying around the podcast right now. Like, personally, I haven't a clue who's being dishonest. Is it me? Is it Brian? Is it you? Like, there's no way to tell.
No, I'm wrong. You're dishonest.
Okay, look, we're agreeing.
And
like,
I'm the winner.
We're all
and Niamh won.
We're all agreeing that this is a big mess, and the best thing we can do is just move on.
Yeah, and crown Niamh as the new queen.
Well, okay, hang on. I didn't want to go here, but I think the geopolitical landscape of the entire world has been...
I will wear your nipples as a hat, as my crown.
Real pointy ones. You lost.
No, I won. You can go back and listen to it. I won. You can ask anyone. And okay, here's the thing. All of my nameless crew.
Yeah, the brainwashed fuckers.
The most honest, hardworking goddamn people on that whole Discord. The most wholesome community on that Discord.
The Discord did the maths, John.
You can ask any one of them specifically, and only them, and they will tell you that they all went back and listened to last year's episode, and it all adds up. Everything I said was true. There's no way to move forward except to just accept things the way they are.
Almost like they believe a lie.
Well, that doesn't make any sense, but yeah, so... Okay, how about this? I am sorry that this was confusing for you guys.
That's a really, really shit apology.
Terrible
Apology. It's just... Okay. Do you know what? I think because you're into lying, how about you just tell one more lie, and that's Niamh's the queen, John? Or is that the truth?
Wait, what? So you want me to lie about the fact that Niamh's the queen?
Or is that the truth?
Niamh, I have no idea what your partner is talking about.
He's very bad at riddles.
Just say it, John.
Welcome to the Let's Fight a Boss video game podcast. The world's, Bryan, help me out here,
Strongest
video game podcast. I am sitting here.
Whoa, sorry everyone.
Whoa, that's the podcast hospital come to get us. We beat it up too hard.
Yeah.
Is that what happens at a I don't know.
We are physically assaulting your ears. And
To my left,
the equipment.
full of rage and mystery and just the most bewildering sentiments I have ever heard, it's Bryan.
My sentence structure is way off this episode.
And to my right, she gets confused easily and throws hurtful accusations at beloved friends, it's Niamh.
Your queen.
And with you always, your nameless king, it's
Shut up,
John.
John. No. Say it again.
Okay. What do you want me to say, Bryan?
Say Niamh's the queen.
Of what?
The podcast.
I can't lie. I can't do it. I just can't do it. I'm trying. Like, I would try and the words would leap back in my mouth.
I am
Honest
legally the
John.
queen. I'm the queen. So my decree as queen is I am changing what the queenship means.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, the queenship now will be that the winner of the predictions gets to choose a game of their choosing, and we all have to play it together.
We're already playing Shenmue 2, Niamh.
No,
I don't want
of the queen's choosing.
I'm going to play Shenmue 2.
And I swear to God, we will play a game that I want to play.
John, she just got a Yuri game. Come on.
Did you?
Yeah.
Are we gonna play it? Or is no? That's Niamh time.
It could be that one.
Niamh,
That might be fun.
Niamh, okay, it might be fun.
Fuck yeah.
But for you, I feel like there's, out of genuine care for you, there's so few good Yuri games that come out. Are you sure you want to ruin it with your two male friends?
I don't know. Well, the gay council, Oni, told me it was good. So I'm kind of going on that. So I don't know how I'm going to feel about this. This is Blue Reflection, by the way.
It's got a nice cover art. Like, it could be good, could be anime trash, but could be
I think
good.
I've encountered this in my journeys.
It's from Gust. It's the who make the Atelier games.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Knights of Azure.
You
Just
know
a
what?
Yuri studio.
Niamh, I'm going to take it into consideration. Bryan, tell us about Dexter New Blood.
Dexter New Blood. I'm only going to talk about this one quickly because...
Did they fix the ending?
You know what they did? The last episode of the original run of Dexter... Well, let's just work our way back. Okay, first 4 seasons of Dexter are great. Season 1's great. Season 2 is great. Season 3 is fine. Season 4 is amazing. That's the one with John Lithgow as the Trinity Killer. Because the way Dexter works is Dexter is a serial killer that kills serial killers, but each season there is some sort of antagonist in the form of another serial killer.
An evil serial killer.
An evil serial killer. And by season 2, they've already gotten the Dark Defender stuff out of the way, that he is some sort of superhero, leaning into it from the very beginning, I guess. But then I think there was 8 seasons total of the original run, and seasons 5 through 8 are just absolute pure and vile dog shit.
I nearly agree. What was the one with your one from Save the Last Dance in it?
The one with Julia Stiles as Lumen was pretty good.
Yeah. That was 6, was it?
That was season 5, I think.
Oh, okay.
And Johnny Lee Miller is the serial killer that season,
Yeah.
who's the main guy from Hackers.
Then it gets really bad and also really weird. Like the background politics of that show got really weird.
Yeah, and they stopped filming in Miami for some reason.
Yeah, Michael C. Hall ended his marriage with...
With...
like, what was her name? It's his sister in the series.
I've got her name here.
It was super messy and was seemingly like having an affair with Julia Stiles. But the storyline was that Dexter's sister was romantically in love with him. So now she had to play being into him despite being brother and sister. It's just a big mess. I always thought that was like maybe the worst.
Deb Morgan, played by Jennifer Carpenter.
Yeah, Jennifer Carpenter, that's it.
Yeah. Okay, Dexter...
I felt so
Sorry,
bad
just
for
as a
her.
little aside, Bryan, you're a Rent-A-Girlfriend fan.
Oh, yeah.
Did you hear about his new manga?
No.
It's about a forbidden love between 7 siblings.
That's way too many. Why? Why is it disgusting and complicated?
Yeah, this is everyone's reaction. Everyone's like, no, why? Like, if for people who don't know, Rent a Girlfriend is kind of like a manga/anime that sort of took the world by storm in the last 2 years.
It's a very nice will they or won't they romance. I like it.
I've read the first couple of chapters. It's well made. That
read
dude
it.
can fucking draw.
I'm up to date. I read it every new chapter. But you know what? He could put that weird shit in that manga as long as it's not in my rental girlfriend manga.
Yep, well, enjoy your new adventure, Sister Brother Lovers.
Is that what it's called?
No.
Okay.
But maybe...
John, oh my god, actually, you know what? Fuck Dexter New Blood.
Okay, fuck it. Let's get out of here.
Okay, so there's this manga, alright, and I want to talk about it in the podcast, but it's too late now.
It's too late now.
Now, I don't know the name of this, and I don't want to find out the name of this because it's made by... It's made either by the writer or the artist of Scum's Wish, which is like...
Scum's Wish is so trashy but so fun.
Yeah, it's about like... Which is just an absolute mess of a love triangle because it's like a love...
Oh, it's like a love dodecahedron.
Yeah.
And everyone's fucking the wrong person.
Yeah, and if only someone like came down from the heavens and just said, look, would you not just...
Yeah, if they just shifted the puzzle slightly to the right, everyone would be happy.
Yeah, and they'd all be compatible in their appropriate relationships. Anyway, one of the creatives behind that has a new manga, and it is the worst premise ever. It is about a teenage idol who secretly has twins. Okay?
So, Brian, I'm sorry. When you say secretly has twins...
She gave birth to twins?
Yeah, she secretly gives birth to twins, but because she's a Japanese pop idol and she's a teenager, it has to be a secret because
can't be doing that.
Because it'll ruin her reputation, her career, and then some. It's just something that had to happen in private, but she wanted to have the baby, so she did. And it follows from the perspective of her gynecologist at the hospital.
Oh no!
Oh no! Don't worry, Niamh. It's not that kind of manga. It's way worse. He's a huge fan of this idol, and when he finds out that the teenager who's due to give birth is her, he goes, I'll give you the best care possible. But, and also there's flashbacks of a previous patient of his who died as a child, but he never got to, like, cure her. Okay?
Of what?
I don't know. I think ovarian cancer.
Oh
It's the fuck. Okay. This isn't even the worst part. Okay.
I think we should get to the worst part.
Okay. Anyway,
the more I learn about this manga.
Oh no. Then, the night that the pop idol girl is about to give birth, the gynecologist is mysteriously murdered. But
just that sentence alone.
But at the same time, the pop idol gives birth to twins, and they are reincarnated. The gynecologist as the little baby boy, and the little girl that he couldn't save several years ago as the little baby girl.
How?
Because time, paradox, reincarnation doesn't matter. And now what's happening in chapter 2? Because this is all in one chapter.
Okay.
And I was like, as I read it. Then in chapter 2, there are these two little babies, but when no one's around, it's like Toy Story, and they can like get up and walk around.
Oh my god!
And they're like, I'm a way bigger fan of this pop idol than you, and I'm gonna get mom to love me more, and I'm gonna be mommy's precious baby, and I'm going to be a star. And it's about two babies who fucking hate each other.
Imagine being a twin and at some point,
What's
like,
baby
your
two?
mom leaves the room and the other twin just looks at you and goes, I'm going to fucking kill you.
Anyway, I got to the end of the second chapter and I was like, cool, and just deleted it. And I don't know the name of it, and I don't want to know, and I hate it. And so that's my review of Dexter New Blood. It was pretty good. You know what? The serial killer for this season, it was the guy who voices Mr. Krabs from SpongeBob. And at one point he actually goes, and I thought that was kind of funny. So there you go.
good.
Dexter New Blood.
Okay, Brian, I
pretty
have
good.
one question about Dexter. So notoriously the ending of Dexter is awful.
Yes.
Like he just boats into like a wave.
No, he goes into a hurricane and
Yeah.
mysteriously disappears, and yeah, it's a fucking mess.
Is the ending of this better? Because I presume this is the last we'll see of Dexter.
I think they really want a season 2
Oh.
of this. So it ends on a cliffhanger, but also kind of goes, you make up your mind.
Oh, okay.
It's fine, and some people hate it and some people like it, which is kind of what I wanted.
Michelle was
there you
not
go.
pleased. She was not happy.
No, it's very rushed as well, and like it's certainly an improvement, but it is like, okay, one thing I did like about Dexter New Blood is that for the first episode he doesn't have his like inner monologue narration, which is such a like fun part of that show originally. But there's a bit where like he loses his temper and accidentally murders someone, and he hasn't murdered anyone in 10 years, and as soon as that happens the narration goes, tonight's the night, and I was like, oh yeah, that was good.
Deb's in it as a ghost.
She is.
Oh no.
Yeah.
She has
And
replaced Ghost Dad, and so now it's Ghost Sister.
And
Oh,
Niamh,
man.
she sucks.
Really?
Like I liked Deb in the original. I thought she
Yeah.
was super fun, but in this she's always like, "You motherfucker, Dexter! You fucking piece of," and it's just that constantly.
In fairness, he is,
pretty
and
good.
she would be
No,
mad.
Niamh, he's the good serial killer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He's never done anything wrong in his life. Like
No,
people
never.
in his life never die.
If there was anyone that would be mad at him, it's Deb, though. She,
Yeah.
like,
She
that
fucking stood up for him when he murdered someone, and
yeah. She was such a bad cop.
she's the worst.
Yeah. She wasn't very good.
Anyway, yeah, it wasn't a very good manga. Just saying.
Yeah. I watched Palm Springs, which is the latest Andy Samberg
Comedy vehicle. Yeah,
Yeah, I
I thought it was great.
So what happened in Palm Springs?
Yeah, John, you really liked it, did you?
okay, yeah, loved it. Brilliant. Great movie. So good. Andy Samberg wakes up on the morning of a wedding and he's there with his girlfriend. It turns out it's a time loop and he's
Oh,
living.
for fuck's sake!
And
Seriously?
like he's deep in the time loop.
Yeah.
But he kind of accidentally sucks a possible romantic interest into the time loop
Yeah,
with him.
yeah. So
Because
the
of a
whole
magic
premise of this
cave.
movie, he goes through the whole day, and like you're like, wow, this guy's so cool, or at least you're meant to think that. And then he's like hooking up with a girl at the end of the day, and then she follows him into a cave because another guy starts shooting him with bow and arrows, and she wakes up the next day, and she is also stuck in the time loop.
So it's like the cave from Dark that puts
Yes.
everyone in.
Yeah, essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
and it turns out that he had also brought another old man into the time loop who now hates him and hunts him with a bow and arrow.
It's J.K. Simmons, and he's very good.
Sure.
Did you know it was a time loop movie when you watched it?
Immediately.
Because for me, I just put it on, and I was like, oh, this is just like a boring Andy Samberg movie.
No, like, okay, there's two bits, right? First of all, he just knows what to do. He's like doing everything perfect, and I was like, oh, this is probably a time loop movie. And then he says this bit where he's like, yep, every day is the same, or something like that. And I was like, okay. And then I had to wait another 15 minutes for them to be like, hey, it's a time loop movie. And I was like, oh, okay. I don't know. I feel like your entertainment value on this is going to depend a lot on how charming you find the comedy of Andy Samberg. And look, I'm going to say, back in the day, I liked I'm on a Boat. It's a good song. Some might consider it a banger.
I still like that song.
That's a great song, and there's good songs on that album. Like, he's not an untalented man. There was just a smugness to this movie that I could not get around, and just him and the girl.
I really like the girl. I
Who's
like
the girl in it?
Christina Milioti. She's the
Oh.
mother in How I Met Your Mother.
That's what Michelle kept saying, and then all I could think was that bit
Spoiler.
in How I. All I could
I'm
think.
so sorry, Niamh.
All I could think was that bit in How I Met Your Mother, the last episode, which I think is one of the 4 How I Met Your Mother episodes I've seen.
Oh, that episode.
Where I think Robin like floats away into the sky,
Yeah,
and
it's
it's
so
like the
sad.
worst thing I've ever seen. But yeah, look, I don't know. I don't know why I put this movie on the list. It's people like this movie,
Yeah, I like
obviously,
it.
right?
Okay, so for me, I watched this movie in April 2020 when it came out in streaming at the beginning. And back then, time loop movies were very different to time loop movies now, because that was at the beginning of lockdown. And I know there was a bunch of time loop stuff that came out during lockdown, and it became very, very fatigued very quickly.
I think even the time loop media I've seen before this did so many more interesting things and said so many more interesting things than this thing. And yeah, like it's whatever.
I thought it was pretty good as a sci-fi romantic comedy.
I my review of this, Brian, it's 2 stars because I couldn't quite give it 1, but it said I nearly hated this movie, and I did. Like, I just thought it sucked.
Okay, so for you, is 1 star I hate a movie, or is half a star?
1 star is I wish I'd never watched this, and nothing goes lower than 1 star. And like with this, like it had moments. I like when he went back to the dude's house and the dude explained how he was trapped in the perfect day over and over, and he loved to appreciate that. But like this movie, I felt like was one of those films where it's like, oh, at one point this was a real strong Saturday Night Live skit, and someone stretched it into a movie. And there's a monologue of the guy and the girl having fun, and they break into a bar and are just obnoxious to everyone, and I don't know if you're meant to find that charming or whatever, but I don't know, it just...
Do they kill anyone in it?
No.
Okay.
And that's fucked up.
Yeah.
'Cause
I've
it's like,
always really wanted like a time loop movie to be a thing where they decide to kill someone because it will reset, but the moment they kill someone, it doesn't reset.
There's some fun stuff where Andy gets like really, really bored and just tries to seduce every possible family member at the wedding each time loop. And he gets like real close with the dad.
Oh.
no, he made that bit up.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Motherfucker.
Yeah, they fucking cowered it out.
Okay, so you know what? Used to have 3 stars for this movie. 2.5.
What's your rating system, Brian?
Well, I include half stars.
Out of
'cause
5?
That's because Brian is using Letterboxd.
I use Letterboxd, and you
John
can
is
smidge
using
it.
his own rating
It's
system.
private!
John has a Google document called John's Secret Thing.
I do, but that's a different to Google Doc to what we're talking about
Oh,
now.
yeah, sorry, never mind. Yeah, I use Letterboxd, and...
Half star, you hate it.
Oh, yeah. What did I give? Okay, so I watched The Kids Are Alright because I'd never seen it. That was a
That
top...
sucks.
Yeah, like that's a top tier half star
So
film.
I know everything that happens in that movie. I've never watched it. I cannot wait to hate watch it someday.
It's so bad.
It's so bad. It's so bad. And the worst thing about it, if you were a lesbian who lived during that period when it came out, people wrote, "This is lesbians Brokeback Mountain," and it's the most offensive fucking.
It's made by a
movie.
lesbian as well.
I
It's
know.
based on a true
She's
story.
fucking insane. I'm like, I know I don't. No, the gay council totally has the right to do it. I'm taking away her like gay card, like bullshit.
Do you not
movie.
need to even like refer to anyone about that?
No,
Holy shit! How high ranked are you, Niamh?
pretty high.
Prism. Mm-hmm. Whoa.
So 1 star, Brian. What's a 1 star movie?
Let's see. Dear Evan Hansen.
Yeah, that's a 1 star
Okay,
for me as well.
okay,
Yep,
so-
yep.
Because you're
okay, so-
entertained, but it's bad.
So here on Letterboxd, my Letterboxd
So
is...
I liked Dear Evan Hansen better than I liked Palm Springs. What? But looking at like Palm Springs is competence. Dear Evan Hansen's a fucking train wreck.
Okay.
Like I hate the person now. Like Palm Springs is doing what it's meant to do. I just hate what it is. I hate the 10 out of 10 version of this movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah. For Dear Evan Hansen, I wrote, "What a load of wank," half a star. False Positive, that's a terrible film. I wrote, "I miss Broad City." This is made by one of the Broad City girls.
So okay,
I mostly 3-star things.
so it's 3 star. 3 star is kind of my go-to as well, where it's like I liked it, like but I don't have strong feelings about it to
Yeah.
push it up to
Three
a
star to
4.
me is like,
yeah,
all right,
yeah,
that killed an hour and a half.
Sometimes I put a 3 star and a heart, so it's kind of like just to remember that it's on the positive side of a 3 star and not the negative side of a 3
maybe
star.
this wasn't like exceptional, but this made me feel good things.
Yeah. All right, I have one more half a star movie here. It's for Cars 2, which came out in 2011. And I wrote, "You're not a true Pixar fan until you've watched this film." Which I do believe, because
That's a good,
because
that's
people
fair.
celebrate Pixar, they need to celebrate every aspect of Pixar, including Cars 2.
And then 4 stars for you, Brian.
4-star, I have here Hotel Transylvania. Great work, everyone. Even you, Adam. It's a great film. Apparently, there's another one out. They pump out those Hotel Transylvania movies.
Do you give a 5 often?
Not very often, but I did give it to Wreck-It Ralph, which I wrote 5 stars. Yeah, because I just try to keep it simple.
I feel like 4.5 is like my highest, and there's only like a few that get the 5. Like 4.5 is like I really love this movie, and then 5 was just like, well, I think this is just like, for example, Into the Spider-Verse. I gave a 5.
Oh yeah, absolutely. My most
Why don't
recent.
you make it 6?
You can't.
Because it's Letterboxd.
Oh.
Because we're
Yeah.
using a
We're
thing.
not using the
we
John
don't have
system.
our own system. Do you have 6 stars in your system?
Niamh, I have 7 stars.
What the
What does that mean? What
Is
does
that like
it
some
mean?
Paper Mario shit?
If you guys want, I can explain it perfectly.
Yeah, go on.
Okay.
Do it.
1 star, wish I hadn't watched this. Or it just such bewildering low quality that several like anomalous train wrecks had to happen to make this movie. 2 stars, whatever. I was bored. I was on my phone. There are some redeeming qualities. Palm Springs. 3 stars, yeah, right. Okay. I was entertained. 4 stars, yeah, this is good. This is some good shit. 5 stars, this is like one of the best things of what it is.
Okay. So in that genre, you think it's like one of the top in that?
Yeah, I would say if people are into that genre or medium, they should check this out.
Okay.
It can still kind of have like things not great about it at 5, but it's still just so far above anything else. Because I feel like 4 is like very good, but I can think of things that are 4 that I don't love.
Yeah, fair enough.
Then there's 6, and 6 is just like, okay, this is like one of the best pieces of media I have ever consumed, regardless of like anything.
Okay.
So like, I think for me, some things I gave a 6 to last year were like BoJack Horseman. Like, fucking just loved that so much. I think there was one other thing I gave a 6 to last year. I don't know. And then 7 is like, I loved this so much. It has recontextualized how I see either this kind of media or just all media. So these are like these are the Evangelions, these are the Berserk, these are the things that are just the very top.
I presume not a lot of things get the 7. Like, it is super rare. Did you give anything a 7 last year? Not considering rewatches or anything like that. Like,
no, I don't. Well, like Mother 3 would be one of them, but like that was a replay. But no, Kenny Omega versus Bryan Danielson got a 6.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
yes, it is.
Yeah.
Brian's review for The Kids Are All Right.
Only you can edit out this chunk. I'm just showing them my phone doesn't matter to the podcast.
I think it's one of the worst movies I've ever seen.
John, do you need glasses?
Absolutely, but the last time I went to get glasses, it was weird, and I haven't gone back.
Why? Where did you go?
Okay, so
because I went to this optometrist, and there was just a weird vibe. Okay,
what did you do?
Listen, I fucking did nothing. I sat still in a dark room is all I fucking did. Okay. It's not, you know what, Brian, I resent that comment. The weird shit that happens to me is not always my fault. 98% of the time, yes. But sometimes I just fall into scenarios and they happen, okay?
Go on.
Okay, so like, and you know when you go into an optometrist and they make you look at the chart and they do all that stuff?
Yeah.
But then they take you into a room in the back?
No. Absolutely no.
They do. They take you into a weird room in the back and you sit on a dentist chair kind of thing and they put a big machine on your face.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
So
okay.
So it's like
But
the big goggle. Like
usually they're
you're
in the
looking...
same room for me. But
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so it's just you and them, right? Okay, and then at some point they're like, okay, I need to turn off the light and shine this torch in your eye.
Yeah.
It's like a magnifying glass that they look through that shines light on you.
Yeah.
Okay, and I guess to do this, they have to get really, really close.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm sitting there, and then at one point, on my lips, I just feel...
With their lips?
Yes!
Okay, that's pretty bad because I know what you're talking about, and they do get very close, and I've had them brush my cheeks and stuff like that, but I've never had a lip brush.
It was like a proper bottom lip versus bottom lip for about 0.5, and I tried to back off, but I was in the fucking chair.
Was this a guy or a girl?
Girl.
She liked you.
I don't think so. I think it was an accident, but it was a fucking stupid accident. I was very upset.
So I presume by the end of this, they probably said you needed glasses, or did you just leave?
Oh, yeah, she was like, listen, you need glasses really badly, and I was like, I have to go.
Okay, Oni, I don't know how you're going to segue that story back in, but please leave it in.
It's not his job to segue it, it's ours.
Yeah.
He's not here, Bryan.
No, but like before that, we were talking about on my phone, and then you were like, "I can't see it."
He can just put it down.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Because
The people love it.
If we're laughing, we don't need to cut it.
okay,
I watched Cheer season 2.
Is this like? I'm excited to see this. I haven't watched it yet. I love Cheer season 1.
Cheerleading documentary. There we go. Words.
Is this as brutal as season 1?
Okay, I haven't seen season 1.
Oh, fair. Okay.
So I think Michelle like binged season 1 in an afternoon or something, so I never saw it. But I watched Cheer season 2. I sat down. I was like playing some Switch game, and she had this on in the background, and I was like looking less and less at the Switch game, and being like, this is fucking. There's a lot of shit I like. This is like intense physical competition. After a while, I look at her and I was like, Michelle, this is some good shit. And then I said, and I really regret this, and it really upset her. I was like, you brought Daddy a good one. You brought Daddy a good one.
You brought Daddy a good one.
Yeah, she hated it even more than you guys.
You know what? Sometime before, when we were in Japan and we would go to the arcades and they had the cray machines, I'd get real addicted, and I'd be like, turn to Rebecca and I'd be like, "Papa likes some crack," and I drool a little bit.
But
you gotta say weird shit.
You gotta keep them on their toes. I think we can all agree with that.
I'm lovely to my girlfriend.
Niamh, you fucking told me some.
Niamh, you throw fake grenades at her.
It's true.
And literally the last time we hung out, you were like, I'm going to say weird shit to Rebecca just to make things interesting.
Yeah. Well, I've been negging her a lot over Genshin Impact, which I feel bad about, but it's also very funny. She really wanted her Ganyu pull, and she got a crappy baby instead, and I thought that was hilarious.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
I laughed at her for a very long time. She was genuinely sad.
Babies
She's kind of
so
fun
lame.
to make fun of. Like if I'm around Rebecca for like 3 or 4 days, that's about the point where I kind of work up the courage to start making fun of her, because I'm kind of still mildly terrified of her, and that's how our friendship works. But yeah, Cheer. It's a weird one, right? Because like you start off, and the last season I think was about Navarro.
Yeah.
This is about Navarro, but it's also about their biggest rivals, Trinity Valley. And it's really interesting because the way they frame it in this documentary, Trinity Valley is like, does not have the resources Navarro have. Like, they don't seem like they don't seem like a school that's like, doesn't have a lot of money necessarily, but compared to Navarro, that's how they feel. And like, it's a much harder feel, and like the people there, it seems like they've had, more difficult lives and stuff. So you are really watching this like, unbelievably privileged kind of cheerleading program going up against like this cheerleading program who just does not have a lot of those advantages, and it's kind of riveting. And like, not a mind, just the level of physicality in cheerleading, like the amount of shit in this that was like 1-to-1 with pro wrestling was insane. Like there's so much like cooperating with your partners, and if you don't cooperate with them, like you could get really hurt. And there is something about these cheerleading injuries, because like they always happen when someone's like bending a way they shouldn't be, and then they just stop.
Yeah, there was really bad ones in the first season. Like,
Yeah.
like full on, I thought that girl was dead. Like, it is really scary, and
People
you can feel
folding
the
the wrong way
impact of
in
it.
a pyramid.
Yeah,
Or, like,
no,
say-
just someone doing a flip
say-
and hitting an elbow.
So
or
someone
something.
being like on their 4th flip, having
Yeah.
built up all the momentum in the world,
And just not connecting.
and then next thing they hit the body with their body shaped like an upside down U.
That's
Like,
too
you
much
can't
torque.
even imagine how that would like mess you up. Like,
Yeah.
it's
But
brutal.
it was incredible, honestly. Like the cheerleading side of it was brilliant, but then like the kind of human drama of a lot of the people as well, because like there's obviously a lot of passion that goes into this kind of stuff, and it seems like there's a real kind of community aspect to the cheerleading, and that's something these people find like so difficult to leave behind when they're done. And it's weird because a lot of the alumni come back even though they don't need to and stuff, and it's like they really find it difficult to leave this part of themselves behind, because I think it's like it's the most connected with someone who isn't their family that these people have been, because a lot of them are really young and they have to be so in sync with their team.
I think as well with cheerleading, I don't think there's like a next level, like you do high school cheerleading kind of thing, and then you just put all that work into being the top of your game, and then it just ends kind of thing.
Yeah,
It's not really a college thing,
I
is
think
it?
this is actually college cheerleading.
Sorry,
Is it?
college.
But like what you said applies
Yeah.
just to college. Like there's nowhere they really go on
Yeah.
for that, because like the kind of cheerleading these people do, I think like it's a lot more intense than what happens in kind of, sporting stuff. It was fucking awesome. And like it's hard though, because like for me this was like, I'm gonna call it a hard 4, because there was a point where I was like, this is like fucking 5 out of 5, this is incredible, I'm having such a great time. And then COVID hits, and it's actually like basically all your character arcs that you're following just get reset. And then like they come back in the next season, and it's like, half the team are missing, and they kind of have to rebuild, and they also kind of have to rebuild the story again of Navarro versus Trinity Valley, and that's kind of unfortunate. But like some of the shit that happens is crazy. Like a really popular guy called Jerry from season 1, he's outed as a child predator.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, and like there's clips of him on Ellen, there's clips of him talking to Joe Biden, there's all these clips, and the dude's like a fucking piece of shit. And then there's so much drama that happens, and it's amazing. And like by the end of it, when you get to the final episode and it's the final day of the competition, I was losing my mind.
I just Googled which one was Jerry, and I was reminded, and I now am like, yeah, he was a beloved oh my god, a real person, but oh my god, I can't believe that. I'm shocked.
Yeah, and like it's fucked up, because even like one of the first things they say is like in the first episode, they're like, this is what Jerry did.
Jesus.
But like he's kind of, they never focus on him, but he is like in and out of it. And then when like they do focus on, yeah, you can see how this guy is like a charming, charismatic person. Like even I was like, wow, yeah, he's very likable, but obviously he's just a piece of shit. And anyway, all this shit happens, and when you get to the final 2 episodes, like the level of competition, I have never been so tense watching like the conclusion to a documentary, because like who's gonna win, and like it's so fucked up, because like you're waiting for that point, like is someone gonna fuck up their routine, like this thing they've been building to the like highest point. I'm not gonna say who. There's a fuck up.
No.
And it is absolutely heartbreaking. But it's an incredible documentary. I would recommend it to absolutely anyone. Like, I didn't give a shit about cheerleading before I watched this, but this was great. This was so, so good. Brian.
Yes.
Niamh, you don't have any media.
No, I've been very busy.
She's been playing games. She got. Hey, you got game. I see a game here. I see a game or two.
I can throw, like, I've been listening to Utada Hikaru's new album, Bad Mode, and that's like really good.
Bad Mode is a great name for an album.
Very good.
It's kind of like a collection of, like, if you've been following their singles, it's kind of a lot of them. So it's Face Your Fears from Kingdom Hearts. It's also Pink Blood and One Last Kiss and just like some real bangers, but the whole album's brilliant. It kind of was giving me like Kate Bush meets like 2000s Kylie Minogue vibes for some reason. But
Kylie Minogue was good, Kylie Minogue.
But I really, really enjoying it. Great album. But yeah, I haven't really been watching anything.
That's okay, Niamh. That's totally fine.
Niamh, you should watch Hacks. I think you'd like it.
I will if I
This
ever
was a
get
show
time.
recommended to Brian by my Michelle.
Absolutely fantastic. You've watched a bit of it too, John, have you?
Yeah, I've watched bits and pieces.
Rebecca and I watched it in like 3 days. Fucking brilliant. It's 10 episodes long. It's a HBO show. I think it's on their streaming site, HBO Max, which we do not have. So I pirated it, which I get to say.
Well, they'd left you with no other option.
They've left me no other option. Fuck this.
Yep.
Sail the high seas and watch your fucking TV shows, everyone. Hacks. It is a show about a resident comedian at a Las Vegas casino called Deborah Vance, and she's played by Jean Smart, and she's kind of a mishmash of Jean Smart herself, Elaine Stritch, and Celine Dion.
The singer?
Because Celine Dion was also a Vegas resident for several years. But it's just that thing where like she does the same act every night.
Okay.
And her jokes are the exact same. She hasn't updated her jokes in like 20 years. And it's about her working with a young comedian writer who got dogpiled on Twitter and has to lay low.
What did she get dogpiled for?
She made a throwaway joke about a closeted politician who was being homophobic. It's set in this world where it's fairly contemporary and it's definitely hitting on a lot of relevant points. And she ends up moving to Las Vegas and writing for this old comedy writer that she doesn't respect and doesn't like her jokes and calls her a hack, hence the name Hacks. But it's just about their relationship. And when I was watching with Rebecca, she said she liked about it was that you see it's not very often you see TV shows where it's an older person and a younger person who are in a relationship that's based on friendship or a job or something like that, non-romantic, especially two women. Mm-hmm. And this show absolutely nails it in that aspect.
So they don't kiss then?
One does have a sex dream about the other.
Yeah.
But I'll leave it to you to find out which.
Yeah, I love that episode. It's done very well. But what happens is Jean Smart's character, who was in 2019 Watchmen, she played the older version of Silk Spectre.
Oh, she's brilliant.
Yeah, and so she's very tall and very mean. Very good in this show.
Yeah, she's brilliant. Everyone's brilliant.
Everyone's brilliant in this, yeah. And straight away, she just fucking starts taking this young 25-year-old staff writer, like, down a notch. But then she fucking bites back, and all of a sudden...
I'm so sorry.
Silent mode?
I ordered lunch today, and so I had noise on.
What lunch?
Oh, I ordered a chicken sandwich from some place.
Yeah?
It was alright.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. So
yep.
She bites back, calls her a hack, and it kind of turns into this weird competition where they try to come up with like the best punchline to a joke, but that's their whole relationship. They just like brainstorming jokes. But that's why she's hired, and that's kind of what sparks their energy between them. And over the course of 10 episodes, they revamp her comedy show, loads of interpersonal drama in between, and ends on a very fun cliffhanger, and season 2 is greenlit, and I'm on board.
Oh, nice. I didn't know that.
Sounds good.
It's written, I know I brought up Broad City earlier on in the Letterboxd review bit, but it's written by the other writers on Broad City. Because I guess Abby and Alana are like the main performers and writers, but it's the other two writers on Broad City who also did a film called Rough Night, which is an unfortunate movie in that it's about a hen night bridesmaids movie in a time when a bunch of bridesmaids movies came out. So it got overlooked, but it's actually a pretty decent film.
Okay.
It's extremely relevant, and I really liked it.
I will put it on my list, Brian.
I also watched a TV show, or I'm in the process of watching a TV show called Reservation Dogs.
Yeah, this is queued up.
Okay.
I'm really looking forward to it.
Oh, Brian, I think you'll have a very, very good time with it. One of the first things I said, like halfway through the first episode, I was like, Brian would love this. But then, as I kept watching, it turns out John would also love this because I loved it. So this is a Taika Waititi joint. It was created by him and one other dude, and it's made by his production company.
Yeah.
And the premise is like super, super interesting. The whole thing takes place on an Indian reservation, Native American reservation, and it's weird because it's one of those things where it's like you're about 10 minutes into it, and like it's so casually just bathed in like Native American culture that you realize you've never seen anything like that. And it's so interesting seeing like a lot of just this joke is filled with what feels like in-jokes just to Native American people. Like there's one bit where they see just a plastic owl, and all the kids, it's about these four like teenagers, and they're all like, fuck man, no, and then they have the eyes of the owl pixelated out, and like they never explain it, but I assume that's something, but it's basically about these 4 Native American teenagers, and it's 2 girls and 2 boys, and they're the best thieves in the whole town. They are really good at robbing stuff. So first scene is them robbing a giant like crisp truck.
A truck? Like all the stuff off the back of a truck?
Like snacks and stuff?
The truck itself and the snacks.
Oh yeah.
And then they take it to a junkyard and sell it.
Holy shit.
because they want to get enough money so they can all travel to California and get out of this town. Because like it's called a reservation, but it's like just a kind of backwards small town in America, and it's just full of like all these really just weird looking characters that you only see in small towns, you know, that kind of way. And it's fucking brilliant. All the actors are great. It's like one of these shows that's like simultaneously like just really easygoing and relaxing, also very funny and also really sad, because you learn that in the previous year they had another member in their gang, and he was just this dude who died, and he was their leader. He was like, he was the best one, and it's kind of them trying to figure out like what to do. But what sets in motion like the events of the episode is like they're not really a gang, they're just a bunch of thieves who rob things. And at some point a new crew forms around the corner, the leader of which is this really fucking cool, mean looking blonde girl. And she sets up her own crew and starts attacking them because she hears they're a gang, even though they're not a gang. And it's just this really like fun and stupid like gang rivalry between these kids. And like they're aged kind of around 14, 15. They kind of feel like as old as a kid could be without quite being an adult. And it's really, really interesting seeing that perspective. And then, you know, every episode kind of picks one of them and sort of focuses on it, and you like learn more and more about like them and their families and stuff. And it's just brilliant. It's so well written. It was the kind of thing like when the first episode ends, I checked and there was like 8 episodes in the first season, and I was so pumped knowing that there were 8 more to go, because it's so like every episode makes me laugh. Every episode makes me like, oh no. And it's brilliant. Like, people should absolutely check this out. I think you'd both be into it.
Yeah, sounds good.
I'm really looking forward to watching
And
it.
the fucking clothes they wear, they're like shitty clothes a teenager would wear in the most stylish, fucking cool way possible.
Hell yeah.
Everyone looks amazing all the time. Bryan.
I have a feature film I'd like to talk about.
Go over it.
It's one called Boiling Point. Do you guys know anything about Boiling Point?
Sounds familiar.
Okay, this is a one-take feature film.
Oh.
I believe they used the third take. And it stars Stephen Graham as a head chef in a fancy London restaurant. And it's just 90 minutes on the last Friday before Christmas, which is the busiest night for a restaurant. And it's just them kind of going from getting the staff in half an hour before the restaurant opens to the first hour of customers being served. And the camera kind of drifts around and it follows different characters, and it's absolutely an actor movie. I get the feeling this at one point, it was definitely a short film, but it might have been a stage play. There's some, like, there is a bigger narrative. Like, I guess Stephen Graham's character is, and I'll get to him in a sec, but like, he's definitely the lead and he's kind of like the backbone of the film. But there's lots of kind of 5-minute like vignettes where an actor gets to kind of do some lines with another character. A lot of those scenes are unresolved, but I think that's the point. Like, one, for example, is there's a young black waitress and she's dealing with a clearly racist customer. And it's just that situation escalating, and both the actors are really giving top performance. There's another one where it's the pastry chef and her assistant in the back, and it's them kind of discovering that one of them is having a lot of mental issues. And the range of emotions in those 5 minutes is super good as well. But the main character, Stephen Graham plays, who's the head chef, it kind of opens up and he's in like a lot of financial trouble. He shows up late to work, and the restaurant is kind of on this potential decline, and he kind of brushes it off. And as things get to, I guess, the name Boiling Point, you kind of understand the reason why all of this has happened and the kind of escalating problems that kind of interweave in between. Stephen Graham is one of my favorite actors. He's in This Is England. You know, in This Is England, when it's all kind of fun, and then that guy Combo shows up.
Oh, not Combo.
And you're like, oh yeah, wait. Because like before that, you're like, man, these skinheads are all right.
Yeah,
like,
they're lovely.
They're just playing around and just listening to music. And then like, weird nationalist skinhead character comes in, played by Stephen Graham.
He comes in and makes it not fun.
And he's just the most and like Stephen Graham's really small, but he's like a bulldog. He's so intimidating.
Yeah.
I just love that actor so much. But in this, he really gives it all. And like, there's a good mix of like them improvising and them kind of sticking to the script. But I'm so impressed that it's all done in one take, and it's not like a big budget movie where it can like kind of like hide the takes or kind of like use VFX to kind of like neaten up bits like Birdman or something.
Yeah.
Like they really have to kind of get it in one go, and there was a lot of like they had to hide props when the cameraman had their back to certain bits of the set, or I think it was actually filmed in a real restaurant that was spaced out accordingly for the camera. But like there's a bit where a character gets an allergic reaction, but the makeup on the allergic reaction is really good. Wow. But they would have had to like put the actor into the makeup while they weren't on camera for 10 minutes. And it just has these really quick turnarounds and problem solving bits. And from like a pure simple filmmaking perspective, it's an absolute masterpiece.
So like
it's so good.
A lot of the time with like single take stuff, like I can appreciate that it's hard to do. I find like rarely for me does it really add a whole lot. Like kind of like Birdman was kind of like that for me, and like the God of War single take stuff didn't do a whole lot for me. It sounds like this is kind of more of an environment where that tension, like just from everything you're saying,
especially kitchen,
be
like kitchens are very intense places. Yeah. And I know there's been a couple of like kitchen movies and TV shows over the years, and I know there's so many like Gordon Ramsay things. But like this is just one where it's done in fiction so well, and you get a whole kind of like dynamic between like the head chef and the sous chef and the other kitchen staff. But then you also have like the manager of the restaurant. You have a critic in the restaurant as well. And owning a London restaurant is a huge financial risk. And it's all about your kind of your brand. And if you're liable or if you get in trouble once, that's your whole business venture destroyed. So it has all of that kind of teetering on top of itself. It's such an intense film.
Sounds cool.
Yeah, it's very, very captivating.
How long is it, Bryan?
Just under 90 minutes.
Okay.
I think it's like 84 minutes long. Like it's
I'm at the point where like I get a release of dopamine when I see a movie under 90 minutes. I'm
Same.
like, oh yes, thank God.
I saw the new Batman was like 2 hours and like 55 minutes. I was just like,
and there's a version that's 4 hours long, and you know that's going to be on like the
Blu-ray.
the Blu-ray or the streaming version. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Like I remember when I watched that Zack Snyder Justice League re-release, I had to watch it over like 4 days. At least it's divided into chapters. But no, like this film just like grabs you right away and holds your attention the whole way through.
That's really cool. You know what else is really cool? Niamh, tell us about Pupperazzi.
Paparazzi, as the game may suggest, is you are a dog photographer on a island full of dogs and you take photos of them.
Are you a dog?
No, you're a person, but like this is like it's a really indie game. Like these dogs don't have walk cycles; they just kind of hop along.
Are they 3D?
They're 3D. Everything's in 3D.
Are they low poly?
They're low poly.
I've seen a bit of this, and I was like, oh, Niamh would like this. I remember it was in. I remember it was in the Summer Games thing.
The dog models are super cute. Like they are cute looking dogs for sure. Your character, like you can only sometimes see your shadow so far, and it's kind of like you look like an Among Us. Like it just kind of looks like a mound with legs, and when you try and pet them, your arm is just really elongated and weird. Yeah, they're good dogs.
They're good dogs.
And it kind of has a social media aspect where you take photos of the dogs and different people like your photos, and if you post too many photos you'll get like stop spamming the chat kind of thing. But you have objectives where it's kind of like take a photo of a dog with a stick, or take a downward angle of a dog on a boat, or take a photo of like 3 dogs together. So you kind of have these goals, but you can also upgrade your camera with different filters and different lens types. And it's pretty basic. Like the objectives you get are pretty simple, but they're all kind of cute, and you're given them by a like little Bichon Frise in a fisherman's costume. And he's very cute, and he's just like he asks you to do different things for them, but other dogs also ask you to do other things. Like I want to see pictures of my friends playing, and You have to take some photos. You can gather like gold bones and use those in the shop to buy camera equipment or items for the dogs as well. And another objective you have is just to take a photo of every dog breed you can to fill up a glossary of dogs. Like, it plays kind of awful. Like, it moves not so great, I gotta say.
It's first person.
Yeah, it's first person.
I also see you've been playing a lot of Halo, and I imagine going from Halo
Yeah.
to this
Yeah.
Like, it feels rough, but the dogs are so cute. And
feels
it's like
feels rough.
yes, it does feel rough.
That was pretty good, wasn't it, Brian?
It was pretty good.
Yeah. I'll throw you a bone.
Ah.
What?
It's on Game Pass. It's like a really like it's one of those like indie chill time games, like, you know, and you
It's a real bedtime game.
Yeah, I literally played it before bed, and I was like, I'll play like 20 minutes of it, and like I played an hour and a half of it, and I was just like, I can get a better angle at this dog, or like this little like there's a little sausage dog, and when you pet them loads, like love hearts pop out of their head and they follow you around, and they're very cute. But that little sausage dog in particular was very comedic to me, and I always wanted to try and capture
I love sausage
his
dogs.
charm.
Oh, they're
They're
great.
so funny.
I love when you see a real good one and you're like, how? Like, how did this thing
It
survive?
must be so hard to turn a corner as a sausage dog.
But yeah, like kind of broken-y, but very nice and calm, and I have taken some good photos, but they're also like a little blurry, but like that's like a quality thing with the game and not like my photo.
It's not
taking.
crisp.
Yeah, it's not particularly crisp, even though those dog models are quite nice. But yeah, other than that, I've been playing a lot of Halo, and there's been a new Halo event called Cyber Showdown, which gives you a new game mode called Attrition, where you have a pool of lives that is shared among all the team. So if you die, your team is out of lives, and then you have to revive them to get them back. It's been fun. I have maxed it out. I maxed it out in like 2 days. I don't know if they've just been way more generous with the type of challenges they've been giving you. In fact, they have been. Like, I think I got 4 challenges that was just like punch someone, like kill another Spartan by punching them. So that like filled up pretty quickly. And I said last time that I'd never got the challenge item by completing everything. I did this time, and I got a visor that looks exactly the same as another visor I had. So they really need to make those things you work for kind of matter, because sometimes I don't even bother going for them because it's just a sticker for your chest, and I have a little teddy on my chest that covers up my little sticker, so it's kind of pointless.
Mm-hmm. I mean, what could be better than that?
But Halo continues to be fun. I have maxed out my season pass as well, so I'm kind of a little like... Yeah, well, 1100. So I'm kind of like, what do I do now? I know, I checked how much time I've played on it, and it does it in days, and it said 4 days, and I was just like, 4 days?
So I think January is not a very nice month.
No,
and I think
it's
it's a little
lame
rough
month.
on everybody. Do you find yourselves really being drawn like to your like not even comfort games in the games you love the most, but just the ones that will turn down the noise the most?
Oh yeah,
Because my God, like, guys, I'm back on Binding of Isaac. Real
Oh no, John.
yeah, I like Michelle was talking to me today, and she was like, "So you enjoying Binding of Isaac?" And I'm like, "No, I don't want to play this." And I do you know what? I said that, and I did 2 more runs after I said that. I was playing it for an hour and a half today. I did not want to.
I'm watching Rebecca play that new Yu-Gi-Oh! Dual Masters game that's on consoles. She's playing it on the Switch and the PS5, and she's put a couple of hours in already, and I'm like, do you like this game? No! Like, just immediately, like, no!
Yeah, I feel like that's... Like, I like Halo, but, like, I was playing it, and people won't pick up the bloody ball in Oddball, and I just kept shouting, pick up the damn ball!
I think Binding of Isaac is a fantastic game. I just don't want to play it anymore. But it's just like, oh, that dopamine. I got some fucking weird builds today.
And it doesn't take too long, so you may as well do a run.
Maybe I should just do a run before bed.
So what happened to me with Binding of Isaac is that I kind of had to like tell myself my favorite run ever, and I look fondly upon it, and that tells me I'll never get as good a run as that.
Brian, you're right.
Brian, what is the longest you've ever played a game?
I think
in one, like...
I don't know, like as a child maybe Pokemon Blue or something, but as an adult probably Bloodborne.
Bloodborne. That's such a... That isn't really... I feel like it doesn't hit the definition of like one of those turn off your brain games.
I think
Like
the way
Splatoon
Bryan,
or Mario Kart.
the way Bryan plays Bloodborne, it is because
Really?
Bryan, like it's well, not just Bryan, but like a lot of Souls players, I feel like they know every
Everything.
inch of that map. And like when I watch Bryan play Bloodborne, you're not really trying anymore because there's no.
I'm not interacting with that game as if it's a single player game.
Yeah, he's going here, he's doing this, he's standing at this point, he's like throwing something at this monster. It's all figured out, and I think it's just like this gradual.
Going through the motions,
Yeah.
but your motions is
Okay.
terrifying.
So for me, it's like repairing a watch, and I know every piece of the watch.
Yeah,
But it's a video
That's
game.
that's what it's like to play Bloodborne with Bryan.
Wow.
He's just like, and I'm like, whoa, Bryan, look at this crazy fucking monster, and he's like, stand here, do this, and now here, and then if I deviate from the plan, he'll be like, John, could you come back here, please? We should play more Bloodborne, Bryan.
Yeah, we should.
I got to Orphan of Kos.
Yeah.
And I think I messaged you, and I was like, "Yeah, just got to Orphan of Kos. Probably going to beat him today."
Oh yeah, good luck, John.
Yeah. About 30 attempts later, I was like, "Oh, so this is like a project. Like this boss is not something you just beat. This is something that is in the background of your life for a little while, like building a cabinet."
Mm-hmm.
I haven't come back. It was very upsetting, but that's a really cool boss fight.
Oh, he's a very angry baby.
Very angry baby.
It upsets me that it takes you a week to build a cabinet.
Niamh, I would be fucking lucky to come out with a cabinet like after a month, and you would see that cabinet and you would be like, "Wow, John, you really tried with this one, huh?"
John, can you tell us the nickname that your dad gives himself and yourself when you are doing DIY buddy stuff?
Yeah, so one time me and my dad were fixing an old chair, and after a while, after a couple of hours, we got the chair fixed, and I was like, "We're like a team, huh, Dad?" And he goes, "Yeah, fix it and fuck it."
So John told me that in like 2008. I still relish it. But also your dad does too, because he brought it up at Christmas, didn't he?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, he brings it up a lot.
Good one.
Yeah, but no, I'm not very handy. Michelle's very handy.
I know, we bond over building IKEA.
Yeah, no, Michelle.
That's a
loves,
good weekend.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I like it because like I'll get something new and I'll just be like, "Do you want to build this?" And she'll act like it's a favor, but she can't wait to do it. I'm not very fun to be with.
Oh, you're playing Binding of Isaac.
Oh, do you want to know the disgusting thing?
Always.
I'm not playing my Switch file because everything's already unlocked.
So what are you playing it on?
PlayStation 5.
The PlayStation 5. Binding of Isaac.
So I am
gotta
playing
play that Flash game.
I am playing this Flash game on my beautiful OLED LG TV, and Michelle's like, "Can I have the TV?" And I'm like, "In a minute."
Yeah, at least if it was on the handheld, you had your own little bullshit screen, you could be just chipping away
So
at it.
the way my brain tricked myself into doing this was like, if you play it on the TV, you won't be able to play it anywhere, and that will help with the addiction. No, I just go to it.
With the Yu-Gi-Oh game, it's real clever because Rebecca's playing it on her Switch, but then I guess my PS5, because it's my user account signed in, but it has the sub user account and you can sign in. She could still sign in as herself underneath my account. And so, yeah, you could play it up on the PS5 where it runs super well. Or you could play it on the Switch where it runs like shit.
Yes.
Switch ports, I know it's handheld, but, you know, they're not the best.
It's an impressive looking game.
Yeah. Oh,
like,
yeah.
they've really animated those cards.
Yeah. Speaking of the Switch, you guys have both been playing more Shin Megami Tensei 5.
Oh yeah, I just want to give a shout out to the Shin Megami Tensei community because I asked a question last episode about like just kind of about the series and which ones were more narrative driven and what ones would I maybe like, and so many people answered this question so like thoroughly.
It's such a passionate fan base.
Yeah, super passionate fan base and a super welcoming fan base that really want people to get into the series in a really
which is not
good way.
the impression I got, like, from just like articles and stuff, but I think people have been really chill and cool.
Yeah,
because like neither of us are familiar with Shin Megami Tensei.
Yeah, everyone's been really cool about it. So I'm going to impart the wisdom that I have learned, but if you want to read our YouTube comments, and I got messages on our Discord and Twitter and everywhere, and everyone's just been really helpful with this. So what I learned is Shin Megami Tensei 5, that me and John are currently playing, and 3 are the most alike, and they're more of a vibes game than a narrative game.
I'm also playing 5.
Oh, and now
really?
Bryan is playing
I'm
5.
5 hours in. It's okay. I need to play more.
Yeah, okay. They're kind of the most alike. When I was asking about narrative, a lot of people have a lot of love for the handheld ones, specifically Shin Megami Tensei 4, which was only released on like handhelds. And
It was on 3DS.
It's on 3DS.
I might have this wrong. I don't know a whole lot about Shin Megami. I think there's 2 versions of 4.
Yeah, there is.
It's 4 and 4 Apocalypse,
And
but people are talking about 4.
Yeah, okay.
And then the other one, that the handheld one that people seem to really like, is Strange Journey, which was a DS game, but I think may have got a re-release on the 3DS.
Yeah, there's one called Devil Survivor, but that's not the actual name of it.
And that's a different thing again, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And
So-
there's 2 of them, and then one of them got remade for 3DS, I believe.
So Strange Journey and 4 were recommended to me a lot, but like them on the secondary market, they go north of €100. So like, blah. So I've been thinking maybe like I could probably, can you buy, like, I haven't bought anything digitally on a 3DS
Okay.
before. What is that like, Bryan?
Shin Megami Tensei 4 came out physically in Japan and America, but the 3DS is region locked.
Okay.
And years later, for some reason, it just popped up on the 3DS eShop in like 2016.
That's so weird.
And I was like, fuck it, and I bought it.
Okay.
And I did buy a couple of 3DS games last year. That shop is still up and running, so is the Wii U eShop for now. So
Okay, that might be. I've
and
literally
they do
never
go on
done that.
sale sometimes.
Yeah, I have never bought anything digital on a Nintendo console that wasn't the Switch. So
Yeah.
It's grand. Like, it's fine.
It does use the same eShop cards as the Switch.
can you hack a 3DS easily? Is that a thing?
I'm sure you can.
I think I remember some stuff about people hacking their 3DSs. Was there an exploit with a cooking mama or something?
There was at one point, and there was also one with the YouTube app as well. And I think Nintendo at this point has stopped software updating it, so the hackers have a solution that isn't going to be countered anymore.
Okay. Well then, other than those two, the ones I personally was really recommended was the PlayStation 2 games, Digital Devil Saga, and there's like 2 of those. And those games go for about €30 each still. Like, they're the ones that
I would
haven't...
say grab them like right now.
I know. I got one from CEX, but not CEX Ireland, because Ireland, being an island, our import game scene is nada, like absolutely nothing. So I have to get it from the UK, and because Brexit sucks and has ruined everything, I have to pay import fees. But because we have a cool friend up north, hi Lauren, she's helping me out.
We got that connect.
Yeah.
We got that connect.
Like, so they're the 2 games that were recommended to me on the basis that they have a turn-based combat system that is quite similar to Final Fantasy X, someone said, and they're kind of narrative-based. So I'm going to try that out after I finish 5 and see how that goes.
Yeah.
I'd
That's
love
great.
to play Devil Summoner, but that PS2 game, north of €150.
Would you maybe try emulating it? I've actually
Maybe.
been looking at some PS2 emulation recently.
I might, yeah. I like
it's-
playing on hardware, but
Fair enough, yeah.
but I would try.
The emulation's pretty far, like surprisingly far along.
Okay.
Because I know that's a weird generation for a bunch
Yeah.
of reasons, but it's not bad.
I also might just try hack a PS2. Like, I've hacked a PSP and a PS Vita, so I'm kind of like, maybe I should just keep hacking shit.
Just keep hacking.
Hacking your whole life.
But yeah, the community, very helpful, and I'm gonna do what you guys have taught me to do.
She gonna play the game?
I'm gonna play the game.
So the actual game itself, how you getting on?
Good. Oh, also a thing. I said last time that debuffs didn't work on bosses. That was just the first few bosses. A lot of people pointed that out to me as well. That
They're like tutorial bosses.
yeah, it's just some of the earlier bosses. The debuffs I had were the exact
that first
ones.
snake boss.
Yeah.
He whooped my
He's
ass.
really hard.
Yeah.
You really have to grind up like above level 15 to get to him.
but I'm still like sticking with my look kind of thing, but I'm also doing look and strength, and I'm kind of prioritizing crit damage and debuffs now.
Crit's so good because you get that extra turn.
But I'm having a good time with it, and I'm in a third area now that seems to be very focused on buffs and debuffs, so I'm kind of feel like I'm in my element and I'm having a lot of fun.
So I have completed the first world, then went and did some school stuff, and now I'm in another area.
Yeah.
I think I'm at a point where I really, really like this game. It's given me those kind of feelings where I'm like, oh wait, if I do this and this, and I'm thinking about it when I'm not playing it. But I've kind of realized as well, like I ground a lot to defeat that first snake boss. Now that I understand the systems better, I think there's probably stuff I could have done to make that fight way easier to myself. But it's like granular. It's a lot of like after a while you can get like essences from your demons and transfer either their skills or their alignments to you. So like, oh, this monster is really like strong against lightning, and this boss uses lightning, so I'm going to take this alignment and put it on myself for this one fight. And
That's cool.
when you start like really getting to grips with all those little nuances, like, you know, the glory system and all that kind of stuff, God, it does turn into there's just this beautiful system that all melds together in such an interesting way. And I think that a lot of the designs for those demons are fucking dope.
Yeah, and that's a problem that I'm having. I find myself getting attached to some of them, and then I don't want to, like...
But you need to
use
constantly
them,
trade
but you
up.
Need to you need to constantly do it. Like,
Yeah, it's like, okay, this demon has served me well, but it ain't learning any new moves.
you know, this is why I was bad at Pokemon as well. I didn't want to get rid of my crappy team.
Yeah, I think it's great, and you know, there is not much of a story, and like I think it's really interesting people call it a vibes game, because like I think the vibes of this game are fucking cool. Like, I love the cutscenes in this game. I think for a Switch game, they look absolutely incredible. Like, I nearly feel like back to that sort of period where, like, you know, you'd play like PS1 games waiting for the cutscene. That's how I feel like about a lot of the cutscenes in this, because like the character models are beautiful and like the art direction is so strong. So yeah, there's not much of a story, but I also think like the appeal of the game is much more than just the really good battle system and some of the music.
The music is so good.
So fucking good.
I think that's like really shot up as like top video game soundtrack, and I love it.
Yeah,
Very weird music.
There's
Battle music is very strange.
I think
And I really like when you level up, and I'll hang on to that level up music for like a minute.
it's good music
Because it gets fucking real about 30 seconds in.
Yeah. The second world I'm in at the moment, it's kind of very like the first world. It's the first world with trees, but I hear it gets much weirder than that later.
Did you guys buy it physically or digitally?
Digitally. I tried to buy it physically, and Amazon was like, it will take literally a month to get to you.
I have it physically because I got it secondhand, but it seems like they only printed a few copies in PAL region English.
I'll bet.
Damn. I can imagine so.
Yeah.
Bryan, you're saying like you're finding it okay?
I'm only 5 hours in. I need to play. I'd say I need to be at least 10 hours in.
I think
before
at
know.
5 hours in, I was kind of like, yeah. Like I was enjoying it, but I wasn't like in love with it.
I think I'm in the same area as you, because I'm about 20 hours in.
I think I'm like 15-ish, so you might be a bit ahead of me.
I've been grinding a lot because I just like the Pokemon.
Oh, when you see that unregistered mark,
Yeah,
you're like,
no, I hate that.
You're coming with me, buddy.
Yep. You gotta talk to me. You gotta try every single conversation thread. You gotta have some money on the side and some HP.
I just give them so much. Like,
Yeah, you gotta.
Like, sometimes
You
I
know-
feel like
you
maybe
know-
I can like debate them a little bit more, but then sometimes they just leave.
So I started doing the thing where you're like, because you know the way you can be like, ask for something else?
Yeah.
I started doing the thing where I'm like, you've had enough. And if you've given them like 2 or 3 items at that point, usually they'll be like, I have had enough, and they'll come with you. And then sometimes they'll be like, no, fuck you, and attack.
Yeah, but then when they do that, I'm like, oh.
Yeah. Who are you guys' favorite Shin Megami Tenseis?
I'm so bad with the names of all of these characters.
You can just describe them. That's probably more fun.
The one that I've been holding on to the most, because like he's like, they're like little monkeys but with a ponytail. Like, he's a little orange man who has a mouth,
Oh
and,
yeah,
and he
know
just
if I
has a
know
really
him.
long piece of plaited hair.
yeah. I
He's
think
very
I know the
early
guy.
on, but I've held on to him because I like him. He reminds me of an ugly Digimon.
Is he the guy whose jaw drops? Or am I thinking of a different
I
guy?
think you're thinking of a different one.
No, okay, yeah, never mind.
It's they're Who's your favorite, John?
I like the long dogs.
Long dogs are good.
They're very good. I found a weird harvest princess, but she's like a couple of bundles of hay just tied together in a dress.
Oh.
She's fun. I like the way the mermaid screams.
Yeah.
She's fucking cool.
I like the mermaid as well.
They put a lot of detail into that character model. Like you could tell they were like, we want people to love this fucking weird mermaid. Who else? I got a little dragon who I love it when they have a unique attack. I also like the woman, the horrifying demon woman who's just a floating torso petting her legs like they're a dog. I saw that and I was like, well, never seen that before.
I have 3 that I really like.
Yeah.
The Jack Bros. Can I talk about Jack Bros?
Yes.
Okay.
What a confusing segment.
Yeah.
Why? It's Shin Megami Tensei related.
No, Brian, you were right. I am foolish for being confused.
Okay. Sorry, there was hair on my phone because I was scratching my head. The Jack Bros is the first Atlus game localized in the West. It's a Virtual Boy game that came out in 1995.
Seriously?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
And the cover for the Japanese version just has Jack Frost and 2 of his other Jack brothers. But then the Western version, they had to kind of make it look edgy. And so it's just these really off-model looking versions of Jack Frost.
Oh, holy crap, yeah.
And so...
so it's like a bloody skeleton with a knife in a trench coat.
Okay, so...
I love this cover so much.
So there's Jack Frost, who's probably one of the most well-known creatures in the Shin Megami Tensei. He's very, very popular.
He's basically their Pikachu.
Yeah, he is. He's their mascot. Then there's Pyro Jack, but he's known as Jack Lantern in the North American release. And I guess he's the fire version of Jack Frost.
The description in Shin Megami Tensei 5 is an Irish spirit who occupies swamps, and it's oh yeah?
But he's got a pumpkin head and a little witch's hat and a lantern. And he shakes his lantern and fire comes out. Then there's another guy, and I love this dude, Jack Ripper. But he's called Jack Skeleton in North America, and he's just the Skeleton Jack. So Jack Bros is, and it's kind of interesting that we were talking about Binding of Isaac. It's Binding of Isaac, except made in 1995.
Huh.
It's a twin-stick shooter in which you play as a ghoulish little fella, and then you use the other stick in 4 different directions to shoot your projectile. It's Binding of Isaac. You go down dungeons each floor, getting deeper and deeper until you get to the last boss. It's Binding of Isaac.
Huh.
It's not a randomized game though.
Roguelike.
It's not a roguelike. It's a set level, and it's more tunnel based rather than room based, I guess, in terms of its level layout. But I'm playing it on Virtual Boy, and the Virtual Boy color scheme is red and black, and it absolutely fits the aesthetic of Jack Bros. And the Virtual Boy has 2.5 good games. They are Virtual Wario Land, Jack Bros, and Tellera Boxer is pretty good. But then the rest of the Virtual Boy games aren't particularly good. But Jack Bros is absolutely fantastic, and if you can emulate it, I highly recommend it.
I don't even know what a Virtual Boy is. Now that I think about it.
It's okay. The Virtual Boy is the handheld console Nintendo made before the Game Boy Color, I guess. It came out between the Super Nintendo and the Nintendo 64.
Okay.
And it came out in Japan, and it came out in America, and it never came out in Europe.
Okay, that's why I've never heard of it.
And it's a VR goggle headset that you peek into, and you have
now I know.
Yeah. And it sucks. It's great.
How many games are there for it?
23, I think.
And Jack Bros is one of them.
Yeah. There's also a Lovecraft game that only came out in Japan, and it's like a first-person dungeon crawler. It's okay.
Interesting.
It's like the Inns of the Innsmouth of Hell or something like that. Something Innsmouth.
Is Jack's Bros difficult?
No.
Okay.
Well, it's a bit difficult, but then you kind of learn, and you're like, yeah, okay, I got this. But no, it's really fun to play. But I just think it's kind of interesting that Atlus had to have a first game in the West. I'm like, Atlus are doing pretty well for themselves now.
Oh, yeah.
And they got bought by Sega, so they're pretty safe out too in that regard. They had to have had a first game, and it was Jack Bros.
Does it have any relation to the Shin Megami Tensei like story or universe, or is there? Okay.
It takes place in the monster world, I guess, and the Jack Bros. In the Western version, they are goblins, I guess. Like it's not yokai or spirits or anything like that. Like they have to kind of like simplify that kind of mythology. But it's once a night on Halloween, spirits are allowed into the mortal realm, which is sort of similar to Samhain, the Irish version of the original Irish version of Halloween.
There's a lot of Irish demons in Shin Megami Tensei.
Oh yeah.
Like, which I did not know because this is the first one I've played.
Cuchulainn's there, Satanta's there.
Cuchulainn.
Cuchulainn, fuck that.
But yeah, no, I've encountered a couple, and even like some I didn't know about, which is like, whoa.
Yeah, no, it's super cool. But I guess like Irish folklore and Japanese folklore are they go hand in hand with a lot of their kind of mythical.
It's just funny that to see it like replicated in like a lot throughout the years. Like my girlfriend's been playing Atelier Sophie, and it's just like set in Ireland.
Really?
Wow.
Just kind of like a version of Ireland.
Right,
like there's
right.
a lot of like rune stones with Celtic knots and everything on it and stuff. And like, yeah, it's just Ireland.
I love that stuff.
That's cool.
But yeah, I really enjoyed Jack Bros. You can beat it in under an hour.
Oh wow.
Yeah. John, if you just want something to wean yourself off Binding of Isaac, maybe you can play this.
I might do, because I was like upset with myself by the end of today.
I guarantee Ed McMillan has played Jack Bros and like
I've been like,
yeah, because like it has the DNA of Binding of Isaac in it.
Yeah.
Just not the roguelike, but in terms of its aesthetic and controls,
well, I looked up a
absolutely.
screenshot of it there, and like I could totally see it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Just that, and Blaster Boy is another one that has like Binding of Isaac all over it. That's kind of like a free roaming Bomberman, but it has the map layout of a Binding of Isaac floor. I love Binding of Isaac, but like it's cool to see like an indie game like that have its DNA like very out in the open with games in the 90s.
Yeah, totally. Guys, Quicktime Events.
We got some fucking video game news.
Oh my god, news happens all over the place.
Yeah. Okay, I'll do the first one here. Trailers dropped for Shenmue and Cuphead animated series. These are the adaptations of them, and they're both looking cool.
Shenmue is looking way too animated to be Shenmue.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe it's just like my built-in cynicism for the series, but I kind of feel like I've learned to spot anime where all the animation is in the trailer, and I suspect they could be doing that because there's one or two shots in this which look real janky, but I would love to be wrong, and they've done a really, really good job. It looks like they're fleshing out Ryo's sad little life
And personality. He doesn't really seem like himself.
Yeah, I found it interesting that he's walking home from school with other friends from school, because like that's not really touched on in the game itself.
Well, I think it's implied that he knows karate, and so everyone would want to be his friend.
I know, but you know the way I said before, and I'll say it again, his best friend is the housemaid.
No, that's his surrogate mother.
Jesus. Even worse.
Ryu's like really popular.
And
Doesn't come across in the games.
the
It comes across perfectly in the game.
The Cuphead series is looking great as well.
Yeah, it looks
Wow,
really cool.
that looks so
Yeah.
good.
That
Oh
shows,
my god.
That show is made in Ireland.
Yeah, that's Lighthouse Studios in Kilkenny.
Yeah,
Fair play to them.
I know a couple of people have been working on it, and they're real proud of their work, and they should be. It looks fantastic.
Yeah, it looks amazing. Awesome Games Done Quick raises over 3.4 million for the Prevent Cancer Foundation.
Yes, I put this in because I love Awesome Games Done Quick, and this is the most they've ever raised.
Wow.
So in January 2020, they raised just over 3 million. And then the following year in January 21, that was their first online one. That time they only raised 2.7 million. Which is still fucking insane.
It's still not bad.
Still not bad, all things considered. But the fact that this year again it was another online event, and this is the highest they've ever gotten, is ridiculous.
Did you see the Sekiro blindfolded speedrun?
Not yet.
It was very good.
Is it good? I love Awesome Games Done Quick. I've got one. So I've got my loot drop is for one of the games that I was very curious to see how they would do, and it did not disappoint.
I saw this loot drop on the docket earlier, and I don't watch a lot of speedruns or anything, like, just because I just haven't watched that many. I cannot wait to watch this.
Yeah. Fair fucks to them.
Yep. Yakuza creator Toshihiro Nagoshi opens new studio called Nagoshi Studios.
And then in brackets,
He's the CEO.
hell yeah.
I love Nagoshi. I think he's an incredible creative. I think he's legit in the same way that kind of Hideo Kojima sorta is and sorta isn't sometimes, because he doesn't go around parading it. He just kind of does his thing, and I love that about him.
Yeah.
Also, here he's just a very, very nice man.
Yeah, he looks so scary.
Oh,
but
he looks so scary.
I really like how there's two versions of him. There's the Super Monkey Ball version where he looks kind of happy.
Yeah.
And then when he started making the Yakuza games, he got real fucked up.
Yeah, he looks so fucked up. But one time someone asked him about his clothes, and he was like, I just dress in the clothes my girlfriend tells me to.
Oh.
I'm sure he's gonna make something cool. They put out a photograph of his studio, and it's just this wooden lobby with Nagoshi Studio in the corner.
Good for him. I think he has done incredible work for Sega over the years. There was a point he came in Sega's dark ages and was like, no, we should fucking make something good, and that led to Yakuza 1, which became this massive game franchise that spawned 15 different games.
Yeah, and, crossovers, mobile adaptations, spin-offs, whatever you want. I really hope his game is not another Death Stranding. I'm sure it'll be its own thing.
You know what? I would be cool with a Nagoshi Death Stranding. Whatever that is, I want to see that from him.
Do you know what? It probably would be better than Death Stranding.
Do we I can never figure out if this podcast likes or dislikes. I feel we go back.
We like the gameplay. We hate the story.
I just hate Death Stranding.
Okay.
I really like delivering the mail.
I like building the roads for a bit.
Yeah, it's very fun. I liked putting very useful infrastructure down and getting those likes. I was just like, yes. And then when someone put down something in a useless place and you're like, Jesus Christ, this has just ruined the whole flow of the area. Thanks a lot, idiot.
Piss all over it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just a little bit of news here.
Just a tiny bit.
Just a tiny bit. Microsoft buys Activision for $6.87 billion. Bobby Kotick is to remain the CEO until the deal closes. All I can say is, good for Bobby. I think just like Nagoshi, he's a beloved member of the game.
So this is the biggest cash deal in American history, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah, 68.7 billion, and it makes Microsoft the third largest company in gaming behind Tencent and Sony now after this acquisition.
How much bigger is this than the Star Wars deal? 7 times bigger or something?
Oh, I have no idea.
I'll
Bryan,
find
to
out.
Google. It's kind of insane. It's you can't imagine something like this happening, and I feel like everyone has spoken about it because game news was a light when it happened.
I'm trying to think gaming news as big as this in our lifetime.
It hasn't happened.
Okay,
I think
this is how monumental it is. Disney bought Lucasfilm for $4 billion.
A steal.
This is $68.7 billion. You're right.
So the only thing I can think of that for me compares is Sega pulling out of the console market in the late 90s or early 2000s.
No, this is going to cause a shift, a genuine shift.
Yeah.
You don't think they compare, Niamh?
I don't know. I wasn't alive and long enough to have felt that shift, so I don't know. But I feel like Sega was hurting.
They were hurting. But it would be if one of the big three.
Yeah.
But that's how monumental it was.
But
they're these are big in such different ways as well. I don't know about you guys, but when I saw this news, it was a real you could nearly feel the landscape shift under your feet.
Yeah,
anything could happen.
Yeah.
For me, I was what does that mean for console exclusives? But immediately afterwards, or within the few days, Phil Spencer was like, oh no, popular brands like Call of Duty and all of that are still going to be on Sony because competition and money making.
He said they will honor their current contracts.
Okay, well that's
the deal is going to take all of up until 2023 to go through, and in that time I think Bobby Kotick is going to stay is going to stay on board as CAO, and then afterwards will probably get booted. It was really interesting because this totally happened because of the sexual assault lawsuits and Activision Blizzard's like falling stock prices.
The phrase I heard was that someone basically had like a graceful exit for like the higher ups at Activision and Blizzard.
It was a way for him to kind of get out.
And get paid.
But Kotick then turned around and said, no, it's nothing to do with the sexual assault allegations. It was because the delays to Overwatch 2 and Diablo 4. And then, which is just shitty to throw your own devs under the bus.
Okay, so further, did you see his comments about Skylanders?
No.
He's come out with all this shit recently, and he was like, I really wanted them to do another Guitar Hero. I had a really interesting new vision for that too. And it's like, shut the fuck up, Bobby. And then he was also like, my biggest, I think it was like one of my biggest regrets with all this is what happened Skylanders, because I felt like we created this amazing new, I don't know what he said, market or whatever, and then our competitors come in and just flood it with inferior low quality products. And it's like,
he's
Bobby,
such an asshole.
That's one of your biggest regrets, the Toys to Life market.
It's so nuts. But then Overwatch producer Tracy Kennedy said that the problems with the Overwatch 2 develop was Kotick himself, that he would shove random projects onto the Overwatch team, promoting them to work overtime, and then would cancel the projects.
Jesus.
So he's just like a scumbag liar, which we already knew, but is just more of a scumbag liar. And it's kind of like he kind of gets to get his payout with this and pretend that that this was a good move on his behalf and not like him floundering, and that kind of sucks.
Yeah. It's like he's trying to control the narrative.
Hopefully this time next year he ceases to exist.
Yeah, hopefully we'd never have to think about him again.
I think it was interesting as well, just on January 10th, Phil Spencer said he was saddened and sickened by the alleged toxicity at the company, and he would have to reevaluate their relationship with Activision Blizzard.
Yeah, and at this point, other devs were like, "No, we're not associating with them."
Mm-hmm. But while he was saying that, they were obviously hammering out a deal to buy it.
Yeah, I wonder how much that affected all that. Do you guys see this as a good thing or a bad thing, or what? Because to me, it's nearly too big to say anything right now.
It's gonna mess up competition, and competition is great for the consumer.
Yeah, I'm in two minds. I think good thing in the sense that Activision Blizzard was doing its devs dirty and hasn't released many good games lately.
Yeah, it should be better for the staff.
Yeah, and I feel I know Microsoft has its problems, especially with contract workers, but I feel generally it's better
than Activision Blizzard. Yeah, for sure.
And they seem very willing to make smaller projects with smaller teams, so maybe more interesting games will come out of it, kind of thing.
Totally. I completely agree with that stuff. I think one thing that I'm kind of concerned about is you were seeing some real actual momentum in Activision Blizzard for a legit union.
Yeah.
This really takes a wrench to the knees of that, in terms it's going to be very different for them to keep up that momentum with new owners. And Microsoft, I think, were very vaguely asked about it, and their answer was kind of we plan on providing a structure that will be for the best of everyone. But basically
you won't need a union with us.
You won't need a union. We're going to be so good. But it's well, if you're going to be so good, then the union wouldn't have anything to do. Then it would. What's the deal? But in terms of competition and stuff, to me, Microsoft have been making up ground this entire generation. I still think in several ways, I think you've really seen it disappear in the last year or two. But Microsoft spent a long time reeling from the Xbox One. Keep in mind, Microsoft went into that generation in full control. They were doing great. They had made so much ground up against Sony. They were nearly the dominant platform. There's a bunch of different ways you can break it down where, the PS3 or the 360 was the dominant platform. But the fact that it was that tight, Microsoft had done fucking incredible, and they lost so much of it. And for me, this still doesn't do anything as drastic as create a monopoly, because you still have games like God of War and Last of Us, games I don't really care about, but so many people do, and so many people will continue to go to PlayStation 4. So for me, it creates a more interesting environment where obviously Game Pass is going to get bolstered even more, and it's like the divergent of like, what do you want? Do you want Sony's like 1 or 2 amazing games a year, or do you want a much wider selection of Microsoft's kind of? I think I was listening to Bombcast and they coined the phrase "thereware" when games are just there and you're like, I'll give it a shot. And I think that's kind of an interesting way to look at
like
that.
Sony really more so cater to single player prestige games.
Yeah.
They do, but like with the price hike with those as well, you know,
they're
you're buying
80
a
quid.
500 like euro console and then an 80 quid game, and like maybe that's sporadic, but then at that stage, why not just wait for it to come out to on the PC?
I think I would more be talking about the kinds of people, like that huge mainstream audience that are buying like 1 or 2 games a year. Because like for me, I'm not like this generation, I think Xbox are so much more impressive, and like what they are doing I am way more into. But in terms of like mass market appeal, I think there's like this is like a big swing for Microsoft to the point that I think it will even it out, but Sony still have a fighting chance because they still have those big games they are known for. Like, you know, the Spider-Man's, Ghost of Tsushima, all that shit.
Yeah, there's a new Horizon game out in like a month.
A lot of the lads I know who play PS5 are playing Call of Duty on PS5.
And that's the ground they lose, and I think that's interesting.
Yeah, they're gonna have to, like, they might not be left with a choice in a couple of sequels. They might have to just switch consoles.
Or do they just move to the next military shooter? It's hard to say. But yeah, it's a weird move. It's interesting.
Do you think Sony will try and respond in some way?
It's one of our predictions.
Oh, okay, wait.
Okay. I mean, I guess just to like, they kind of have to.
They've got to, like, I don't know, make a mark in their market.
Because keep in mind, like, this is after the Bethesda buyout as well.
Yeah.
Like, to me, if Sony don't do anything, it makes me nearly look at them and be like, how seriously are you guys taking this?
Because, like, Sony bought Housemarque and Bluepoint Games last year.
Yeah.
But they make exclusives for them anyway.
Yeah.
More or less. But
yeah,
like,
they were kind of just bringing them into the folds, and they were already, like, kind of there.
there's bigger companies like a Capcom or a Bandai Namco. They could go, hey, buying you.
Do you feel like Japanese companies would be as willing to be like folded into something like that though? I feel like Capcom has been so independent for so long. Why would they?
Yeah, they're very proud of what they've built.
Like same with Square Enix. Like I saw a lot of people being like, Sony's going to buy Square now. And it's just like, I mean, they could, I guess. Like anything can happen after this. But
See,
like,
that's the thing I'd say.
But I feel like Square wouldn't want that.
I would have said no, and this just kind of changes. I never would have thought this could happen.
Yeah. The thing is, all this, more or less all the studios Sony owns as kind of first party development ticket studios, I guess. They're all Western.
They are, and they haven't, like, they let IO go after the success of Hitman, which is nuts because it wasn't successful enough for them, and they've kind of like, I don't know.
I think that was some Square Enix Japan bullshit where they're like, they are able, like, they basically they basically, like, they don't hit their targets and they just put it on the Western developers and cut them. Like, those games sold fine for, like, what they were, and they ended up selling, like, Hitman Season 3 sold really, really well for that studio, which is awesome. It's crazy. The industry is a bit different now than it was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
For sure. Then there's one last bit of news, and looks like it's something special for Niamh.
Oh, yes. 3 Star Wars games coming from Respawn. So this Respawn did Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. They are doing a sequel to that, and then they are doing a first-person shooter Star Wars game, and they are partnering with BitReactor to do a Star Wars strategy game. And I think BitReactor are kind of made from former XCOM guys.
I bet a strategy game would be really cool.
Yeah. All of those are pretty cool to me.
Do you think all these 3 games will come out?
Yeah, eventually.
I hope they do.
I hope so
You're
too.
skeptical, Bryan.
There's been a lot of Star Wars games announced over the years.
Yeah, but so much were under that EA banner, and
That's true.
That's not the case anymore.
Yeah, I feel
Respawn
like
are doing
Jedi
okay.
Fallen, like Star Wars Jedi, the sequel to that will get announced this year.
Yeah, for sure.
And like
That's true.
then when that comes out, they're free to work on the first person shooter, and then they have the other studio working on this. So I think like if anyone's gonna do it, it's gonna be Respawn.
Which of these would you be the most excited for, Niamh?
I played Jedi Fallen Order and I thought it was okay, but it also had the issue of I had played Shadow of the Tomb Raider just before it, and the climbing in that was perfected over 3 games, and then like it felt really tight. They knew what they were doing. And Jedi Fallen Order, it felt really floaty and kind of bad. And it was just like, if they got to do a sequel on this gameplay will feel so much better.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm more excited for the idea of a sequel of this game than the first one, because the first one there was all these like little shortcomings and these little bugs, and like the story, like the main protagonist was kind of blah. So
Cameron Monaghan's cute.
Yeah, but like we don't need another
do you know what,
Starboy.
I still
just make
have
an alien.
Yeah, they make him green. I still have this game in the shrink wrap.
Really?
Because I bought it in March 2020 at the beginning of lockdown, but I also had Star Wars Burnout because of that awful Skywalker movie, and it's still there. And like I've brought it in my backpack twice to trade it in with other stacks of games, and I go, no, do you know what? I'll hang on to it because a few months ago they were like, oh, it got a PS5 enhancement, and I was like, well, there you go.
Brian, you trading in games you've never played is to me still the most psychotic thing about you.
Should I play it?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think so.
I don't know. I don't have
Niamh likes it.
Yeah,
like, I'm watching that Boba Fett show.
Is that me? I have heard no one talk about that.
Yeah, I haven't heard great stuff about that, and that's like Jennifer Beals in it.
It's so slowly paced.
But like The Mandalorian was so simple and so good. Why don't they just do that again?
They are.
Okay.
Except this time, do you know what? And like it takes place on Tatooine again. You like Tatooine? Just like I think 7 out of the 9 Star Wars films, well, the core 9 have scenes on Tatooine, I think. Mm-hmm. Just stop it. Just leave that planet.
Where's Tatooine?
It's the sand planet.
Where Luke's from.
Yeah, and they keep going back to it.
I think it's because you don't have to worry about like doing
shoot out in the
architecture
desert
and stuff, because it's like a desert all the time. And
they're shooting on a green screen, but it just means that they have all the assets made. Mm-hmm. They don't have to worry about it.
Could I pitch a Star Wars game?
Yeah, please.
Okay. It's a visual novel, and it's called Secret Wookiee. And it's about a man who crash lands on the Wookiee planet. He loses all his memories, and he finds a dead Wookiee, and he hollows it out and wears it as a suit.
Thought they smelled bad on the outside.
And the gameplay is you trying to hide the fact from all the other Wookiees that you're a secret Wookiee.
How can he speak the Wookiee language?
You see, here's the thing: the Wookiees are just really stupid, and no one actually.
They're really smart.
No, I don't think so.
They're gladiators with brains.
Okay, he has a stroke, and it reprogrammed his brain, and now he speaks Wookiee. There we go.
No.
Okay.
And there's a point, and I don't want to give too much away because I'm actually starting to think this might have legs. But there's a point where like you befriend a bunch of other Wookiees, and like they all have their kind of own personality traits, and there's a part where do Wookiees have kitchens, Niamh?
They do.
They have houses, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, in the Christmas special they have a house.
You walk into one of their houses, and it's a dude with his mask off watching The Simpsons, and he looks at you and he goes, oh shit, and he puts his mask on because he's not a Wookiee either. Or she, I don't know.
There's many secret Wookiees.
Yeah.
I can confirm to you there's 2, Niamh. I'm not giving away any more than that.
And that's like the end of the first episode. Like so much happens.
That's about 6 hours in. It's a very slow pace. No, like Brian, what you said about it, like a lot happening. Like no, it's very slow. Like up until that point, you've basically done a fishing mission. You've done half a tutorial, and that's it.
We were watching the Higurashi anime, which is based on a visual novel.
The new one or the old one?
Oh, we've started from the very beginning.
So there's 2 anime of Higurashi. John.
It's like 5.
No, there's 2 of the original game. So there's basically one series that came out a long time ago, and one which is a remake of the first game. So they made an anime out of the first Higurashi game. Then recently,
John, I have the wiki open while we watch it.
Okay, Brian? Shut up!
The very first
Shut the fuck up, Brian. Which version of the first Higurashi are you watching? Are you watching the early 2000s one or the modern one?
No, we're watching the 2004 one.
Okay.
But anyway, we're watching it, and Rebecca's like, "This takes like 5 hours to happen," and we're like 2 episodes in.
Oh my god, yeah, the first Higurashi, it takes so long for anything fun to happen.
Yeah.
But that's kind of part of it, I think.
Oh yeah, no, like this is some weird pacing, and the English dub is so bad. I love it.
A lot of people really love that adaptation. Does it hold up?
Yeah, like it's in widescreen and stuff. It has a cool opening.
Yeah.
It came out when compositing was an anime, and around the Death Note era.
Oh yeah.
Like it looks good. It's got a charm to it.
It's no Ranking of Kings.
No, that's amazing.
Yep.
They have the second opening of Ranking of Kings now.
It's so fucking beautiful. Oh my god. You okay?
I love that queen so much.
She's the best.
And her new guard. What's going on there? It's a woman night.
Oh, now I'm watching, Bryan.
But like the queen wears armor and it's really stupid looking because it's shaped like a bell. But then you find out why and you're like, that's amazing.
That's amazing.
I love that queen so much.
I love her so much.
She's really beautiful.
This news section really popping.
Yeah, what are we talking about? Activision Blizzard?
No, we're talking about anime again. It's the anime podcast.
So, do you want to hear a list of properties that Xbox now owns?
Yeah. They own Rare.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, what? Okay.
Well, they've had Rare for a while.
Yeah,
Oh, no,
they
wait,
have.
okay.
Yeah.
My brain did several backflips into the exact same position I was already in.
You know, Spyro and...
So, like, Call of Duty, World of Warcraft, Diablo, Overwatch, Spyro, Crash Bandicoot. And that's all I wrote down because I didn't care about
Xbox
anything.
own Crash Bandicoot?
Yeah, technically
Yeah.
they would now. They would be the parent company at the very top.
Weird. I actually wanted to say, when I was listening back to our Game of the Year from last year, we did our biggest shit show about like, we did our predictions for which company was going to fuck up the most, and there was like a naive innocence to it. We were like, maybe Activision Blizzard, maybe people won't like Diablo 4.
And now it's just this weird sensational mess.
It's like Diablo 4 didn't even come out and everyone's pissed. But yeah. Emails?
Yeah, let's do some emails. No, emails.
Emails. I don't know when or why I started doing that.
It goes good with the sound.
It does, yeah, it's got that synth. Ask Let's Fight a Boss at gmail.com. Perhaps that could be our email address. We don't know. Could be. Try it out.
Yep. Maybe it is now. Maybe we'll change it.
People have been sending in some banger emails,
They
Bryan.
have. They have. I said emails. We need some. We got a good selection going here. I got some sentimental ones. I've got some like silly ones. I got 3 here lined up. Is that okay?
I'm excited.
All right. Let's start with a simple one, but we're gonna have to think on it too.
Okay.
It's from Bruno. What is your dream game? My question is, what is your dream game concept? Mine would probably be a mix of survival from Alien Isolation, but with Jurassic Park. That's from Bruno.
Huh.
From Brazil.
That's a really good idea.
Yeah. I would love a 3D platformer collection fest set in a small town in Ireland. But I don't know what the levels would be. I guess the hub world is the village, but you could go to the forest, you could go to the bog, but it could be like a
Brian,
farmer's
I
bog.
feel like this exists in Banjo-Kazooie.
I'm replaying Banjo-Kazooie at the moment and there's one level later on called Rusty Bucket Bay, and I was like, cool, this is just England. Like it's just Edwardian London. Like it's just so fucking bleak.
What do you got for this name?
It would probably just be a Resident Evil game. I just want to shoot shit with a really good feeling shotgun, and just with really tight controls, but like good spooky, like moody atmosphere, but also a lesbian romance. It can be with a monster or another human. I'm open.
Is the
Or
romance
both. Maybe it's like a love triangle.
is the romance gameplay or is it cutscenes?
You gotta be careful, Niamh. You don't want to get people to like twiddle the analog sticks to unhook a bra.
Okay, wait, never mind. Okay, it's like Resident Evil, but with vampires, and you are a vampire killer, so like it's like Vampire Hunter D, but you're also like half vampire, so you're kind of conflicted,
A daywalker.
and you fall in love with both a vampire queen and a normie girl. just because you need
like some human survivor from a village.
whatever.
Yep.
So there's like a love triangle, like kind of quest setup where you kind of can pick either one.
Here's my question. How do you make the normie girl appealing if the other girl's a vampire?
We see, is the normie girl a normie girl, or is she part of a werewolf clan?
Niamh, congratulations, you wrote Twilight.
Yeah, but
Lesbian
with lesbians
Twilight.
and a shotgun. Like, Bella would be so much more interesting if she had a shotgun
And was a lesbian.
and was a lesbian.
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
Yeah.
I guess in real life she is.
Yeah. Nice.
Good for her.
Yeah.
John, what's your dream game?
It's kind of shitty, but like I just want them to make another 2D Street Fighter game. And like it's not exciting.
Like 2D pixel art?
Yeah, Street Fighter Alpha 4. Make Street Fighter Alpha 4.
Sure.
Make Street Fighter 3 Third Strike the fourth man. I don't know.
Okay, so just to add some spice to your terrible idea.
I'm sorry.
If you could have like a crossover character come into this, is there anyone you would like?
No.
It'd be cool if they collaborated with like
Just
Not even Rio.
Just Street Fighter. No, I don't want like
You just want a pure Street Fighter. You don't want any crossover. You
what
don't
I
want
like-
Marvel versus.
what I like
it'd
about
be cool if they collaborated with Ganbarian and then they got all the Shonen Jump characters in. You could have like Goku and
You see,
Seto
but
Kaiba and
at
shit.
that point, I'm kind of like, okay, let's do a versus game. I don't want Goku in a Street Fighter game. I want Capcom versus Shonen Jump.
Well, maybe like the old Tekkens
Yeah.
and Soul Calibur, where it was just like one crossover character per
See,
platform.
I don't like that.
You didn't like Link or Spawn or Master Chief.
I liked,
Yoda.
I liked the idea of it until I started.
Yoda. Sorry.
Yeah,
They should just put Yoda in every game.
I guess so.
I forgot about Spawn. He doesn't have a sword,
Yeah,
does he?
no.
Yeah, so he has like
He's
a
just
chain.
chains. Yeah.
For fuck's sake.
Okay, look. Let me. I'll give an interesting answer. Let's say a weird, strange 2D RPG that takes place in a wrestling federation and is part dating sim, part occasional psychological survival horror. There we go.
Brilliant. Love
Yeah.
it.
Thank you.
Is there a management sim mechanic to it?
There can be.
Whoa.
You can fall in love with your manager.
You can, but you can. I wouldn't advise. Wait a minute. I already pitched my perfect secret Wookiee. Secret Wookiee is my answer to this question.
Yeah. Yes, Star Wars. Yeah, Lucasfilm. What are you doing? Okay, we got a more sentimental email here. This one is from Scott.
I have feelings.
How to encourage my kid into art.
Aww.
Okay, I heard on your most recent podcast you wanted more questions. Thank you very much. So here we go. All right. My son is 6 years old and has been really interested in drawing to the point that every night before bed he asks us for drawing requests and will spend about 30 minutes drawing.
Aww.
He also enjoys watching drawing YouTube channels. Nice. This comes as a surprise to me as I have absolutely zero artistic talent. I know none of you have children, but I was curious about your childhoods were like in relation to art and drawing. Were you all naturally talented, or was it a skill you had to develop over time? Is there anything a parent can do to help bolster their kids' artistic imagination?
Yes, absolutely. What a great question. I think one thing to do is have materials for your kid. Like, they don't need to be expensive. I used to just draw on a ream of like printer paper.
Yeah, just have it ready to go.
Yeah, but just like maybe try new materials like paint, like just like cheap and nasty acrylics. Or what's really fun, and my mom used to make with me, was salt dough crafts, where it's like you would like build little figures out of salt dough and then you could cook them and paint them.
Oh, I used to love them.
Yeah.
You could now just like get like Super Sculpey, because that could be
Or
a really
Fimo.
cute thing. Yeah, or Fimo, and like so they can sculpt something. And there's something really cool about having a physical object that you like, you cook it and then afterwards you have a little figure. So I think just like providing your kid with materials so they can just test out things and play around with things. You can spend a lot of money on this. I wouldn't recommend it for a 6-year-old, but you can also do this stuff dirt cheap. Like, my mom had a craft bag where she used to put like egg cup cartons and just wrapping paper and different stuff there, and I used to just spend hours making robots and pigs out of the egg cups.
There was one time my dad, he got an all cardboard box, and out of the one single piece of cardboard box made a robot costume.
Cool.
Like, I guess it would be sort of like a Gundam where it has like the chest plate.
Yeah.
But he did like wings and he made like a gun and everything and shin
Holy
guards.
shit, wow.
And so like, like, I'm sure people listening get the mental image, but like, you could totally make that out of a single cardboard box. Your son's 6 years old, like, that's something you could totally do.
Have fun with different materials.
Yeah, like paint your mech, little child robot.
My mom used to buy me rolls of wallpaper and just let me go to town on that, which was like really exciting as a kid because like it was so big, and I would just draw like big maps of stuff,
cool.
and then I would pretend that I was in the land of those maps and stuff like that. Was really fun. I'd say as like they get older, they'll probably get into, you know, like probably like a lot of different, like, you know, cartoons or just like different animated stuff. And I'd say like it's a really good thing to do, to even just like try and engage with that stuff with your kid and like be like, well, what do you like about this? And like help them kind of maybe figure it out a little bit. Because like, you know, my parents did really well by me, and they were really great parents. They were never super for that kind of stuff. And I think that led to me getting into art much later than I would have otherwise. So I think, yeah, like just pursue their interests and like talk to them about it and try and understand it yourself and see what they love. And I think that'll help them develop that side of themselves too.
And even through your kid, you will gain a greater appreciation for art, because if you like try and compliment their stuff, like actually look at what they're drawing, and like if you think they've used like orange really well, or they've drawn the legs on something cool, specifically compliment those things. And like as your kid grows and gets more interested, or maybe not, your vocabulary through their art will grow as well. And that will be cool, because like kind of like you, John, like I was given art supplies as a way to like go away, you know?
Yeah,
keep yourself busy. But my parents didn't really engage with art. Like I don't remember being complimented on art unless I was doing something, you know, like what parents love, like drawing something realistic, like like my dad used to get me draw portraits of his friends, you know, baby or some shit, and I'd get like €20 for spending 8 hours on a baby portrait.
I think for a long time art was something that my parents saw as something I was doing as an aside until I hit the real thing. And like that's probably like an old-fashioned way of looking at it, and this person definitely does not sound like that. But yeah, you know, encourage them and engage with what they like and support them in it. And I think, but it sounds like you're kind of halfway there if you're just thinking about it on that level. Yeah,
it must be super cool growing up now with YouTube channels.
Yeah.
God, I'd love to have had that. Like we had Art Attack, which was fucking rad. Did you?
We had Art Attack,
brilliant.
But what I could never get was PVA glue, so I couldn't do anything from Art Attack.
Yeah, he kept using PVA glue and wet newspaper.
Yeah.
Oh man, when the PVA glue came home the first time, amazing.
Yeah.
Made tarantulas.
Yeah.
Cool.
But I love, like, I watch a few kind of like DIY craft YouTube channels. There's a really fun one on Lego Mario where they make their own Lego Mario levels out of paper. But it is this kind of cool thing where like they'll work off a platform everyone understands and then like come up with their own ideas and designs. But I love craft YouTube so much. But I'd say as a kid, I'd say it has limitless potential.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. If your kid has a bad day drawn, just like, it doesn't matter, because it really doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Were any of your parents artistic?
My mom's like a little bit artistic. She kind of paints and stuff now, and like it's kind of, I feel like if she had been encouraged, like she has a little studio in my parents' house where she paints and she's good, but like I think if she had been encouraged like when she was a kid, she'd be like amazing now, you know.
Same with my mom. She used to do it when she was younger and then didn't paint for like the rest of her life and only took it up again like in the last few years and is just really great at it and is now doing oil painting. And it's just like, I guess it was you.
Yeah.
My dad is better drawing cartoons than I am.
Yeah.
He can draw, like, the way he draws, I guess, is Beano style, because that's what he grew up with. But like, he can one-to-one do that particular comic book cartoon style of like, I don't know, like Irish English mid-century cartoon style.
I love the Beano and the Dandy so much.
Yeah, like he can just draw that stuff like one-to-one.
That's incredible. I never knew that about your dad.
And he shows me his drawings and he's like, yeah, I drew these during meetings. But like
He's a doodler.
But like he had to, but I guess growing up in Ireland in the 60s and 70s, you know, you have to get a real job.
I found one drawing by my dad ever, and I wish I'd kept it. You would have loved it, Brian. It was a real drawing by a man who has never thought about drawing before and never will again. Like, it was fascinating.
I
Just
have
a little face.
I've got a drawing like that. So on one of my like last days at work, because I've like worked and not worked in one particular studio a couple times, but one year I got a going away book, but someone in the HR department did a drawing, and like HR don't draw, like it's not their department, they're in charge of staff, I guess. But someone, it was drawn by like a woman in her late 40s, and it was just of like a park with a rainbow.
Aww.
And I was like, that's so good.
That's brilliant.
I love when people who don't draw. It's
Me too.
fucking amazing.
Yeah, it's so great.
My favorite gift to get from a friend is a drawing. I just love that infinitely.
Did we answer everything there?
We did. Scott, that was a great email. Really set us off on some heartwarming tangents. That's what I like. I like an email like that. That's a good email.
Yeah, it's real.
If you sent a shit email, listen to that email.
Bryan, I was like, well, Brian's being real positive on the emails this week.
Putting out a backpedal and fucking neg someone. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, we got one more, and these are some quick questions. Okay? Well, quick questions, and then a catered question to each of us, because Lars, you sent us an email last year, and you sent us an email the other week, and I'm going to combine them into both. Is that okay?
Whoa, Lars's mind must be blown right now.
Okay, so it says here, to the Clown Emperor, the Dread Warrior of 1,000 Stars, and John. Here's some rapid fire questions. Okay, would you ever consider eating cereal with water?
No.
I would rather cut off my fucking fingers.
Why your fingers?
Okay.
Because that's the level of pain I'm willing to accept over not having to do that.
I would just need to dry it.
Do you have porridge with water or oats?
I have porridge with
half and half.
porridge with rice milk.
Okay, good. One time I was really, really bothered and tired one morning, and I made a bowl of cereal, and I took the jug out of the fridge, but it was the jug of water and not milk, and I poured it into the cereal, sat down at the table, put my spoon in, took a spoonful of cereal out, put it to my mouth, and it smelt wrong because I couldn't smell the milk, and at that point I was like, what the fuck am I doing? And just threw it in the sink. Fucked up.
I think I would gag. Yeah. Like, it's just, there's something about that that's so unappealing to me. Like, imagine eating crunchy nut cornflakes with water. Do you remember that bit in that Slipknot video, Wait and Bleed, where the kid's like filling his cereal bowl with like murky water? Really upsetting.
So no, we would not consider that.
Absolutely not.
Okay, if you could be isekai'd into any fictional world, which one would you like? Fire Emblem.
Fire Emblem?
Well,
I would have thought you'd
be the Robin, so yeah, that's a pretty good choice. Like, if someone got isekai'd into the Fire Emblem world, they'd just be like, wow, you're a leader. Like, straight away.
That is how isekais work.
Yeah. It'd be alright. Like, because I'm trying to think of like an isekai style narrative, and Fire Emblem kind of popped into my head. Because it would work.
I think I'd have to go for like a Street Fighter.
Really?
Street Fighter King.
Just to fight?
Niamh.
It'd be cool if you just ended up at a
You
fighting
get to
tournament.
fight all day. There's literally hot people everywhere. You see the entire world.
Fair enough. My answer is Bleach for the same reason. A lot of hot characters in that world.
Oh, Kubo can draw a sexy man and or woman.
And Cat.
Yep.
Okay. You're the boss in a video game, so who's fighting you? Oh, I'm fighting Mario. I'm gonna fucking smash him.
I would like the bravely party to fight me, because they'd be very like, oh no.
Just 4 different
And
job
they'd want to-
classes trying to figure you out.
And they'd want to steal my clothes.
So
at the end.
I like the idea of Niamh fighting like these like 4 like quite innocent warriors, because I think you could really fuck them up in some interesting ways.
Do the bosses have a job class as well?
Yeah, they do.
Okay, so it just says Niamh lesbian, and they're like, what the fuck?
And then when they get that asterisk, they're just all wearing plaid shirts.
I was going to make that joke, and then I was like, you know what?
No, I make the joke.
don't know. That's not for me.
John.
And a little tank top.
Nice. I just really want to step on Mario.
Good. I would too.
Oh, you know what? You know the way like the Pokemon games are all like little kids, I'm like the grown adult who's dedicated his whole life to Pokemon, and I just fucking kill you. Because I've been doing this my whole life. I have nothing else, and your journey stops at me.
Yeah.
It's a sad Pokemon.
I recently discovered Cynthia, the Pokemon trainer, and
Cynthia rules.
she's
really
just
cool.
a woman.
Yeah.
Like, that's just a woman who, like, dropped off her kid to school and then went to fight some other kids.
Yeah, and then just ruined other kids' days.
Yeah.
She's an adult woman who needs to get through a cave, and you join her along the way, and then later on you find out she's more than just an adult woman.
She's the one with the Garchomp, isn't she?
Yeah.
Fuck that.
I love
thing.
her hair and her in her white outfit. Oh, so good.
Yeah, she's great.
Okay, and then one last quick question is butter on top of your toast or underneath your toast?
Excuse me?
How?
Excuse me?
Like,
What?
do you pick up the toast and, like, butter it like that? Like,
Yeah,
like a
you,
crazy
you spread condiments on top of toast.
Why? Okay, Brian, Lars, never again. Never again. This is some fucking breakfast ass tomfoolery that I don't want. I don't want to have to think about this stuff.
He's asked two very upsetting questions now to John.
I'm upset.
Genuinely triggered about his breakfast.
So bothered.
I don't have butter on my toast. Butter is something I cook steak in. I don't put it on my bread.
You cook steak in butter?
in butter?
A little bit of butter.
I've heard of that once or twice.
But you don't put it on your toast. What do you put on your toast?
Jam. Nutella.
Without the butter?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's in the way. Kids,
Brian, someday you smear a little butter before your Nutella.
Okay, no, butter with Nutella?
Oh guys. Like, you know, sometimes, Brian, where I'll do the thing with the peanut butter and the Nutella. This is as good as that.
I couldn't give a fuck about butter.
That sounds bad.
Well, there's a reason I stopped.
Okay, and then some catered questions.
Okay.
Brian, this is for me. Okay. If you use it, what's your preferred type of hot sauce to use in cooking? At the moment, there's a Korean fried chicken restaurant in Dublin too, called Chimak, and they sell their own sauces. And sometimes I'll go in there and just buy the sauce, but they have one, and it's sriracha caramel. It's amazing. Holy shit.
Sriracha caramel.
Yep. I said that. Sriracha caramel. I have...
Does it taste of caramel? Can you
Oh, yeah.
taste it? Oh, okay.
It's spicy caramel. I have moved beyond sweet chili sauce. It is in the bin.
I think we all must do that at some point.
Yeah,
right?
so now I have assumed a form of sriracha caramal. If I was to be sponsored by a Irish brand, it would be the sriracha caramel sauce. I love it that much. Niamh, is there a white whale that you're always on the lookout for in terms of your collection?
Yes. Okay, there's one, and I can never even find it online. And I haven't even seen the TV show this character is from, but his name is Lion Maru, and it is a man in a lion suit, like a white lion suit with white mane and like a red suit over that and black boots, and he has a sword, and he's from like those old I can't remember the name, like Kaitetsu shows.
Sentai shows?
Tokusatsu.
Yeah.
Tokusatsu, yes.
He's from one of those old shows, and there's a real action hero version of him and his friend Tiger Joe. I have the Tiger Joe. I have never ever seen Lion Maru.
Lion Maru looks fucking dope.
I've like checked the Mandarakes. Yeah, isn't that dope?
He's a fun guy.
I have like checked Yahoo auctions, like eBay. I haven't even seen him pop up for crazy money. He's just this, I just can't find him anywhere. So my hope is like when I finally get to go on a holiday to Japan, I will find him in Japan and get my Lion Maru.
Have you checked Sendico?
I have. I've checked everything.
Oh my god.
Lion Maru is not around.
Someday. Okay, John, how do you feel about the use of darkness in visual media? Example, mostly back pages in manga, balancing lighting while still keeping shit visible in film, or having the screen's brightness be affected or not when traveling into a darker area in a video game.
Like, the concept of darkness?
Yeah, in media.
Yeah, how do you feel about it?
Yeah, John.
It's good.
Look, Lars gives a fuck.
Yeah, it's good. I think like when you see stuff that's really able to nail it in a meaningful way, it makes things stand out and make them feel timeless in a way that I think can be really special. And like one of my favorite examples of it would be like, say, how Torchlight is handled in Silent Hill 2 and 3. Both those games still look incredible. Like, especially if you'll go like with some kind of some of the up-res versions, and a big part of that is just like the play of light off. That just feels so much better than it should. I recently reread Berserk, and that does some amazing things in terms of like pushing bodies out from shadows. Like, one of the most horrifying bits of Berserk is where this kid goes back to his camp, and there's things have gone wrong, and he just sees like a torso floating in the air. And then like it comes forward a little and moves into the campfire, and you can see that there's a floating face behind the torso, and then the camera cuts to reveal the actual scene, and it's a giant slug monster that has eaten his friend looming over him, and it is one of the most horrifying things I've ever seen, and it only works because of that use of like shadow and stuff. So yeah, that's my answer for what I think of darkness.
I just have a small one in Hereditary. I think they use the darkness really well. You know, the way there's those couple scenes where it's off in a distance, but you see a smiling naked person. But it's one of those things where, you know, the way with darkness, you need that light adjustment where your icons need to let in more light.
Yeah.
And so it's one of those things where they're standing still in this static 10-second shot, but it isn't until around the 7th to the 10th second bracket that you see it. And I think that's such a clever way to use darkness.
There's one of those shots where and I think it's actually kind of early on, where the mom is like,
she's in the attic,
spider webbing on the ceiling, and you just don't notice her because she's really in darkness, but it's awesome.
It's such a great technique.
Yeah.
Thank you, Lars, for a variety of interesting questions.
Thank you, Lars. You know what, Brian? Take Lars off the block list.
Okay, Lars.
Thanks, Lars. I also just want to say a little thank you to Jeremy, who wrote me an email to me and said some nice things about me, and I thought it was very sweet. Thanks, Jeremy.
Nice.
Ain't no one saying nice things about Brian or John.
Though they say nice things to me in private as well. They wouldn't say anything nice to you.
You have your own cult. Shut up.
Yeah. Okay. We have to deviate from the usual routine.
It's time for predictions. Niamh, Brian, no, you're kind of sad the way things went down this year. This is the chance to make it up.
Okay, so we're not going to do the Patreon shoutouts yet. We're going to do predictions. Is that okay?
That is perfect.
Perfectly okay.
Okay, maybe in the docket, I'll have this laid out. In the show notes, I'll have it laid out. Maybe I won't. You know what? If you're still listening, you're a real one. How's that sound? We have a whole bunch of predictions. Each one of us did approximately 6, 7, 8 predictions each. So we got nearly 20 predictions here by the looks of it. Maybe even more. Do we use every single one of them? Why not?
I think we should.
Yeah. Fuck yeah. Let's do it. Okay. Do we do one each, or do we just do it in batches of per person?
I think Niamh pitches hers, I pitch mine, you pitch yours, Brian.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Okay.
So these are... Sorry, no.
So my first prediction for 2022, Dead Space remake will be released this year. What do you guys think?
I think yeah.
I think no.
I think yes.
Do you have a reason, Brian? I'm curious.
I just don't think it's ready.
Okay. Am I going through all of mine?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I'm not listening to this next year and going back and forth. What do you think I am?
That's true.
Okay. Guess Babylon Falls Metacritic.
What's Babylon Falls?
That's the platinum.
It's the platinum game that has the watercolor art style, and it's been in beta, but it's getting...
This doesn't look good, does it?
It's very iffy.
I'm gonna guess a 65.
I'm gonna say 59.
I was gonna say 59 as well. Okay. I'm gonna...
Okay, you get 59, I'll take 61.
Okay. My next
and
one...
do you want to say that the person closest wins it?
Yeah.
Person closest wins it, yeah.
That's fair.
Silk Song comes out this year.
Ooh.
I'd love if it did, but I'm going to say no.
Really?
I don't think it would. Also, it was shown...
I think I'm going to say yes.
Okay, you know what? Yes.
It's hard because they're a small team.
Yeah, but they have shown a build of it, and people were playing it at E3 a year or two ago. And they okay, I'm gonna be hopeful and wishful and say yes.
Okay, I'm gonna say yes as well. And John says yes.
Yes from all of us.
Okay, Final Fantasy 16 will get a release date. I think that's a bit obvious, so maybe we'll get a release date for this year.
Okay, so
Final Fantasy 16 releases this year?
Yeah.
I'm going to say no.
No. It's not coming out in 22.
Okay, I'm going to say no as well.
It'll come out at the end of 23, 24.
A Matrix game will be announced.
No way.
No, the box office wasn't good for us.
That franchise is done.
I'm so glad it went out with a bang.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to say no as well.
What's the Wachowski?
Lana.
Lana. She killed it, and that was the plan.
Yeah. She tanked it the way she wanted it.
Twitch will go down for more than 5 hours.
Interesting, because I feel like for Twitch to go down for more than 5 hours, that's like something big has happened. There's been an attack or something.
No, yeah, because like there's been hacks and attacks on different platforms, and I think Twitch is due something.
You think so?
I think the hackers are like, they're probably working on Twitch and going, yeah, let's go for it. I'd say it's a possibility, and I'm gonna go, sure, yes.
I'm going to say no.
I think I'm also going to say no.
Okay. I'm going to say yes just because I think it'd be funny.
I just think of like when...
Although people's personal data would get leaked.
When's the last time...
They've already done that.
When's the last time the YouTube went down for that long is my kind of reasoning.
Yeah, I feel like YouTube is more stable than Twitch.
I guess so. I mean,
I don't know.
Like, I think of the two that are continually evolving, Twitch evolves more.
Yeah, definitely. Especially because they're dealing with their own kind of adpocalypse kind of stuff right now. Yeah, with content IDs. Like, there's a new meta where you just watch a TV show.
Yeah, I've seen that. Mm-hmm. Man, I followed some of that Ninja Pokemon. Ninja's he should stop doing silly, stupid things. Mm-hmm. Like,
his wife is in on it as well, is it?
Yeah, it's just like, just grow up here, dude.
Okay, there will be announcement of a Bloodborne remake or Bloodborne 2.
Blue Point Games need to make something new, and they remake games.
But I feel like I heard recently that Blue Point were doing something else. But it would make total sense for them to do it. But the only thing is, like, I don't know that Bloodborne needs a remake.
See, the thing is, like, Sony keep re-releasing remakes of their flagship PS4 games at the moment. Like that Uncharted collection's about to come out.
And The Last of Us.
Yeah, remake. And is the first God of War getting something?
If they could, I don't think God of War is. I haven't heard of that because I don't think they want to move backward with God of War. But if The Last of Us 1 is getting a remake, it would make sense for Bloodborne 2. For some reason, I couldn't imagine a Bloodborne 2, even though like that would be such a slam dunk.
Yeah.
I think
Yes to the remake.
Yeah.
No to Bloodborne 2.
Do you get a point each, or do you just get a general point that there's something...
Niamh decides.
A point for each.
Okay. I would say yes to a remake and no to a sequel.
Okay, I'm the same. Yes to a remake, no to a sequel.
Okay.
John, you are?
Same.
Okay. A new Fire Emblem game gets announced releasing this year.
I agree with the first half, not with the second half. So I would say no in that case.
Same. Niamh.
I'm going to say yes, just for my spicy wish fulfillment one.
It would be fucking rad. I'm quite confident Intelligent Systems are making games.
Like, there is definitely a Fire Emblem game in production, no question, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. PSVR 2 price guess. Oh, interesting.
Okay, can we do dollars? Just because that's kind of like a more generic answer, I guess, around in euro. I'm gonna say $400.
Okay.
Well, $399. $400.
And is this with the controllers as well? A bundle?
Yeah. The box with the setup is $400.
Okay. I think there's gonna be maybe 2 flavors of it. I think the base one will be $399, and then there will be another one that will be more expensive. That will be $499.
I'm gonna say $250.
$250?
Yeah, that's cheap.
That's cheap.
I think if Sony are gonna make another go at the VR, they're gonna have to reevaluate everything, and I think they're gonna need to come in swinging and Sony have been known to like undercut the competition by quite a bit whenever they feel like they really need to make a point. That's my logic. Don't know if it'll happen. We'll see.
I'm being spicy with the 2 flavors, but we'll see. There will be a Switch Pro announcement.
No, Nintendo are resting on their laurels too much.
Man, how's that thing gonna run like Breath of the Wild 2?
It won't. It's really... Switch is really bad at running games.
I think so. No, as well. I think it would piss too many people off who got OLED.
Yeah, it would. Piss me right off.
What's your answer to this one, John?
No.
Final Fantasy Stranger of Paradise makes our Game of the Year top 10.
I love these ones because we have control over these, but we forget them right away, and so doesn't matter.
Is this a game any of you are interested in playing?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Maybe if it drops in price or like hits Game Pass. Like, I'm not going to spend €80 on that shit. What about you? Did you see the Frank Sinatra
I
trailer?
hated the demo of this.
Okay.
I thought it fucking sucked. I thought this was the most just mediocre ass and like I have a bee in my bonnet because this is the furthest that like this is like when you look at all the problems with modern Final Fantasy, I feel like this is every single one of them. I would be, look, if I'm wrong and this game turns out to be awesome, great, but I thought that this was just like every game trope from like 5 years ago and it sucked.
I agree. I also think no.
No.
Okay, cool. We now enter the John Zone. Capcom gets bought by a major company.
Oh, I'm going to say no.
I'm gonna say no. They have too much pride. Bandai Namco, maybe?
See, I think Bandai Namco they're like, Bandai Namco do like anime and stuff as well. I think I would be more surprised if they were bought.
Yeah, also they're like parent companies of like From Software and stuff. Mm-hmm. Are Capcom parent companies of anything? I assume they are.
Surely.
Yeah, they have to be. I it'd be cool, it would be interesting, but I'm gonna say no.
Me too. I think if Monster Hunter hadn't done so well and Resident Evil hadn't done so well, this is a different conversation.
Yeah, they're doing really, really well with that new engine.
Okay. One of these 3 franchises.
Did you give an answer?
No, I said no.
Okay, sorry.
One of these 3 lost franchises returns. Legacy of Kain, Punch-Out, Shadow Hearts, Chrono Series, that's Trigger or Chronicles, Ganbare Goemon, Seaman, Jet Set Radio, Panzer Dragoon, Breath of Fire. Actually, I think I looked it up and Breath of Fire isn't lost. They had a phone game or something recently, so I might take that part out. So you can bet yes or no for that first part of the question. Just a blanket yes or no.
Oh, no.
Bryan?
Wait. I'm not sure about Jet Set Radio.
I'm not sure about Ganbare Goemon, but that's because I'm the big dreamer.
The last Ganbare Goemon game was like in 2011 or something, I think.
Yeah. I'd like one of these franchises to return, so I'm gonna say a hopeful yes.
Got him.
I'm going to stick with no, but if it's one, I think it will be Jet Set.
Now, Bryan, there's a modifier bonus to this question.
Yeah.
You can go all in, and you can say that Ganbare Goemon will be the one to come back. And if you do, you'll get 3 additional points, which could be enough to actually win this whole thing. But if you're wrong, you don't just get no points, you lose 1 point.
I never win anyway. And it would be kind of funny for dramatic effect. So let's tack on that modifier bonus.
Bryan accepts the modifier bonus. I say no. Moving on.
Wait, I want to do a modifier bonus as well.
Okay.
Jet Set Radio.
Okay. Cool. I'm gonna say no.
Understand the concept of love.
A major games company keeps pushing NFT. Act surprised when people hate it.
After what Troy Baker did like 2 weeks ago.
Fucking
Yeah.
Troy Baker,
And,
you clown.
And like he still like hasn't like 100% like realized he's wrong. And he's like, no, I'm open to discussion.
They always say that, but they aren't.
I feel like with the NFT stuff, it's like, okay, at some point I need to see some actual application for this. Like, that shit, did you hear about it where someone's like, oh, there's this restaurant in America and, you know, you can only go into it if you have the right NFT, and it's like, well, that sounds shit.
I bet the food's great.
Yeah, restaurants really survive on like letting.
Yeah, restaurants, a notoriously easy business to run. But yeah, I don't know, whatever. But
I feel like yes, because I don't think people learn and they'll always try and make a quick buck. But also, like, crypto is crashing super hard right now, so maybe people have, like, maybe it's too volatile to do, and just kind of like, you know, like Shonen Jump tweeted out like,
oh my god, yeah,
like we have a surprise,
a big surprise,
yeah,
and then they have to clarify it's not an NFT.
Yeah. So I feel like if like Shonen Jump has already like, you know, there's a bad stink to this, let's not do it. I think no major company will do it. So I'm going to say no. But I'm probably going to be proven wrong in like literally a week's time.
See, like the thing is, what is a major game company?
Yeah.
I guess I'm happy enough keeping that loose. Like anyone with power, like anyone who's had like a significant release. If it's some indie title that have never like released any kind of big game before.
Because like to me, like something that would pop up in a Devolver Digital showcase, they could already be guilty of this, but they wouldn't count.
They wouldn't count.
No.
And we can also disqualify Peter Molyneux's NFT thing as well, because that's already happened.
Yeah, it has. I'm just gonna say no.
I'm gonna say yeah. I think people are stupid.
They are very stupid.
Which major games company will fuck up the most? Now, this is not our biggest shit show.
Okay.
This is which major game company will fuck up the most.
And so, Activision Blizzard did fuck up the most last year.
They did, as I correctly guessed.
Oh god.
Which major games company? Microsoft.
Do you think?
Microsoft.
I'm gonna say Sony. I think Sony. The pressure is being applied. I think maybe.
No,
things...
but John, the PSVR 2.
We'll see. Niamh.
I kind of feel like Sony's a good one.
Yeah, Sony's really good.
I can't pick it, so I'm gonna say 2K Games, maybe.
Oh, that's a good bet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They got that new wrestling game coming out.
Yup. They publish Gearbox games, so maybe.
Yeah. The Shenmue anime will be positively received by all 3 members of the boss cast.
This just seems like a ploy to make us watch this shitty anime.
I'm gonna watch it.
Niamh, are you honestly telling me you weren't going to check out the first episode of that?
No.
I'm gonna watch the first 3 episodes. Okay.
Fine. Yeah. Okay. Me too.
Is that fair?
Yeah. I'm gonna say no. Not because it's Shenmue, but because I'm pretty skeptical about.
You got a suspicion.
Just animation in general is very hard to make, and this is Shenmue, and unless they're like really adding more into this narrative, which might take away from the Shenmue-ness, or they're going to focus on...
I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah, because there's something about the mundanity of Shenmue that makes it work, or they're either going to focus on the fighting side of it, which case that's a lot of animation, and
it's also possible there could be like 3 fights in the whole series, and we've seen them in the trailer.
Like, I really hope that there's an extended bit about that orphan kitten that needs to be fed, and it uses the same music and everything. Because like, I love the music in Shenmue. I hope they bring that shit.
Some of the like lo-fi Shenmue playlists are amazing.
And so like, if that's not in the anime, I'm gonna be really disappointed, because like, I'm really betting on that stuff working. Like, I'm really curious to check it out. It's so, like, I don't know if I'm gonna like it or not. I really want to like it. I actually genuinely want to like it. I don't like Shenmue, but I want to like this anime. All 3 of us, though, I'm gonna say no. Unfortunately, it'd be cool if all 3 of us liked it, but all 3 of us, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm gonna say no.
Yeah, it's like,
Would love to be wrong.
Yeah, make us wrong.
Yep.
You.
A new Silent Hill game is both announced, and that announcement / potential release is received positively by Silent Hill fans. And this is a tricky one, so just to clarify, what I mean is, by the end of the year, people are feeling more hopeful about Silent Hill then than they are now.
Okay.
Which means that
a sense of confidence.
If an announcement comes out, it's well received. If a game comes out, it's well received. Does that make sense?
Yeah, because the last announcement they had was a pachinko machine, and that was not well
It
received.
didn't go down great.
And I think people were in low spirits.
Yeah.
So absolutely a Silent Hill game gets announced, and no,
So,
it's not received well.
okay.
I think Silent Hill fans, like, they'll take scraps.
Well, like,
Oh, I don't know.
I don't think so. I
they
think
are
absolutely
spurned,
not. Yeah.
angry fan base.
So like,
And because
if something
Bloober
isn't-
Team is going to be possibly the one making this,
Stop saying that.
Okay, then no.
and
no.
they haven't really made like any game that's been too well received. Maybe Layers of Fear has been the best.
People like Layers of Fear. But
Yeah, okay.
I don't see anyone being like, yeah, this is what Silent Hill should be. Oh, I think it's my turn to be a foolish optimist. I'm going to say yeah.
Yes and yes.
Yeah, and like that could just be a cool looking trailer. Like just something that isn't worse than we are now, which is nothing.
Hang on. Is this two answers?
This is one.
Okay, it's just one big
Oh,
answer.
okay.
Okay, all right, just making sure.
But I think it will be announced. But I also think people won't like it.
Well, then you made a guess, and it was that people won't like it.
Okay.
Okay, I also think people won't like it, but John thinks people will like it.
Okay.
Just let me have some light.
Okay, and John's big in the Silent Hill community, so like he can't do a spin doctor on this. He's gonna have to be miserable like the rest of them, like they are right now, isn't it, right, John?
At this point, I'm like, okay, if it's shit, just give me something. Just bring it back, just a little bit, even if it's a fucking homunculus of what I once knew. Just let me breathe again for a little bit. Maybe Slitherhead will be good.
Yeah.
A wrestling video game is released that scores over 70 on Metacritic. The last time this happened was 2017, I believe.
I'm gonna say no.
Yeah, I'm gonna say no as well.
Okay, I'm gonna say yes, because AEW have a game coming out this year.
Oh.
And they're big fans of Aki, the old Aki engine, and I think they're trying to build those games. And also, WWE's last couple of games were such a fucking disaster that they didn't release one last year. And so, if a wrestling game is going to be good, it's going to hopefully be this year.
The one that had like the Fortnite style was real bad. I think that was on PS Plus a few months ago.
Yeah, that looked bad. Capcom does something with the character of Lady D, big enough to create at least a mild Twitter buzz.
Okay.
So this could be Lady D DLC. This could be a really good Lady D figure, but it has to be something that people are like, oh, like it can't just be like, we released this Lady D print.
And it gets 24 hours of positive reception on the internet.
Yeah. Or it doesn't even have to be positive, just reception. People are talking.
Okay.
I feel like that big figure was done.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's a really big, spectacular figure of her that no one can afford because it's huge.
Cool.
I'd love some Resident Evil 8 DLC.
Yeah, I would love some DLC, so I'm going to say yes for the hopes on DLC. They said they were going to do DLC. They were surprised at the love for her, so
She's the
it
most
would
bankable
be,
character.
Like, the worst thing they could do is make, like, a Chris DLC where it's just him shooting a bunch of shit.
Oh my god.
But they
What
could,
if you
they
play as
could
Chris
totally do it.
Redfield in the castle?
God, that bit was so bad.
And the best thing they could do is focus on Lady D.
Yeah.
I don't know how they would do it, but I hope they do it. So I'm going to say yes.
I want Lady D Chronicles.
Yeah, I'm gonna say yes. Lady D is very good.
Yeah.
And they know it, and we know it, and money makes money.
A boss cast member develops a new and unusual interest.
So this is a non-video game specific hobby or something?
Non-video game. So an example I would give is last year, friend of the podcast, Wooly got very into kites.
Oh yeah.
Something on that level.
I know I got in 2018 when I got Biscuit the Hedgehog. I got very into hedgehog care. And I know a lot about their anatomy and diets and routine.
That happens when you get a pet, especially like a speciality pet.
Spends
Absolutely.
a lot of time like analyzing feces.
Yeah, and so that is an unusual interest. I would categorize that as an unusual.
You care about Bumblefoot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I feel
Yeah.
like I have an unusual interest all the time.
And like once again, this is something we don't have any control. We have control over, but do not at the same time.
Does this mean
Yeah.
I just have to talk about it more?
No, it's something that throughout the year you develop you cultivate an interest and understanding for something that is unusual to you, something you did not have at the start of the year. And you don't just get interested for a month and drop it. There's like you see progress over the course of the year.
Becomes a thing.
Becomes
Okay.
something that you're probably going to keep up for a while.
I think between the three of us, it's an absolute possibility. I'd say
absolutely yes.
Yeah, I'm going to say
I
yeah.
think we're all hobbyists.
Yeah. That's a
We're
nice
also
one.
all sad.
Yeah, we are.
Very.
And
Life is beating you down.
Elden Ring is top 3 in LFAB Game of the Year
Oh,
2022.
Two.
Yeah.
I'm going to say no.
I want to say no because I think top 3 is a bit too high, and I think maybe top 5. But also, last year was quite light on games, and the indie scene really like helped there. But also, like, will there be enough indie games to keep 2022 going as well?
Well, I think the thing there is like a lot of those indie games we didn't know about at the start of the year.
Yep.
So,
Will we get ones that we'll like more than Elden Ring?
did Sekiro get our break into our top?
I think it was either 5 or 6.
Yeah, I think it was high 10.
Like we liked it, but like I know with Dark Souls 3 we were just like, yay.
I feel like with Sekiro, like I loved Sekiro. I just don't think about Sekiro.
Yeah.
Like it was a great experience, and I don't think about it.
I was so in the mode of Sekiro when I was playing it, and then once I got out of it, it just dropped.
I think about that Yasha ape fight a lot.
Oh yeah, he's great. She's great.
I've like real stress about Sekiro stuff.
Yeah, you get kind of bothered whenever it comes up.
I don't know if I'm gonna get Elden Ring right away, or I'm gonna wait and see.
Brian,
That's crazy to
whatever.
me.
That's crazy.
That's so crazy to me.
I know, but I want to give it a go.
Brian, what's your favorite video game of all time?
Bloodborne.
And you're not going to get Elden Ring.
Probably shouldn't I?
Yeah.
What's the conflict?
I just don't.
It's money.
I don't want to play another Dark Souls.
I
that
get
I
it,
get.
yeah,
That
get
I
it.
actually do get.
From what I've heard, it's like from the people playing the
That open beta weekend.
yeah, that it was like different enough.
Yeah.
Oh, I've heard a lot of people say like, "Yep, it's open world Dark Souls."
Oh fuck.
I'm
Maybe
gonna.
I won't get it.
I'm gonna wait and see. I do want to play it. I don't know if I'm gonna get it on launch when it comes out in February. But no, like I do want to buy it and play it at some point.
I'm gonna say no for our top 3 because
Yeah.
like if Brian's not the hype man, then I don't know.
I've never been excited about this game, honestly. I've been absolutely 100% curious about it, but I've never been looking forward to it. Let's say.
I think I'm gonna say yeah. I think the designs are really up Niamh's alley.
I know. I've already drawn some of them.
Yeah, and then I really like the berserk-like nature of this. Like, I feel like it's even more berserk than usual, but I think there's a lot of potential in an open-world Dark Souls game, and I'm hoping that it's going to be the kind of game that you really get lost in. So I'm hopeful, but we'll see. Brian, now is your time.
Okay, so here are my predictions. The first one is, and I guess it kind of relates to what we were just sort of talking about, an unannounced game is in our top 10 for Game of the Year 2022.
Yes.
Can I make a suggestion, Brian?
Yes.
Do you want to tighten this to top 5? Because I don't think we've ever had a top 10 that there hasn't been an unannounced game in.
No, that's what I was thinking. Last 2 years in a row, an unannounced game has been in our top 5. In 2020, it was Paper Mario and the Origami King, because that was also announced in 2020.
Oh, that's crazy.
And Metroid Dread last year, announced and released in the same year. I don't know if we'll get a 3 in a row. You could say top 5. I can change it here.
It's yours to do with what you will.
Okay, so I think yes to top 10, no to top 5.
So what prediction are we going with?
I'm still going to go with top 10,
Okay.
and I'm going to say yes, there will be an unannounced game in our top 10.
I'm also going for top 10 for yes.
Yeah, me too. Yes.
Okay.
I would hope so.
This one is, we will finish the Shenmue 2 Let's Play.
Yes.
I mean, the numbers are dropping. The numbers are dropping.
I want to get back in the car of Rio's body.
Okay, we have to grind $500.
Oh, guys, it's gonna be we're gonna do so much arm wrestling.
But
It's gonna
John,
be so fun.
we can't arm wrestle because we've no money to bet with, so we have to do the pallet carrying job for a couple days.
We're also gonna do some selective gambling. And by the way, we're not save scumming this. We're doing this.
Oh, John.
Okay, well in that case, we're not going to finish the Shenmue 2 Let's Play.
You really bamboozled me. I thought we were going to meet Ren.
Yeah, we didn't we not?
No, because we have to fucking earn 500. Like,
Niamh, you gotta pay $500 to meet Ren.
you were like, Niamh, at the end of this, we're just going to meet Ren and it'll be all worth it. And then the guy was like, a fork over 500.
I don't know what to tell you. Like, Sonic is a blue hedgehog. Mario jumps on turtles in Shenmue you have to pay $500 to meet Ren. Like it's gaming vernacular.
Okay,
Like,
so one time I was watching a Shenmue 2 Let's Play and the guy skipped ahead the grinding $500 bit because like even he knows.
what a loser.
And the video is still like 24 hours long.
Oh no.
I think we're going to get back into it. I don't know if we're going to finish it, so I'm going to say no.
I think I have to say we're going to finish it because imagining another year where that playthrough keeps getting scampered by COVID is just too sad for me. So I'm going to say yeah.
I'm going to say yes, we will definitely finish it.
Do you guys want to get back into it in February?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it.
I don't think I've mentioned this before. We had like plans for a bunch of stuff towards the end of last year, all of which just fell by the wayside as COVID skyrocketed. So yeah, I think there was points where we got some stuff coming up, and then those plans became undone for pandemic reasons. So sorry about that, but also we just want to be careful.
It's out of our control.
Yeah.
Okay. This year, Nintendo will announce the Metroid Prime trilogy for a Switch.
Is this not announced?
No.
That's crazy.
Metroid Prime 4 is a long way away, and I don't want to do any Metroid Prime 4 predictions, but in Nintendo tradition, the way they tied people over is with a remake, relaunch, port, and they've done this with the Zelda franchise, they've done this with Mario.
So, just to be specific, Brian, are we talking one game?
No, the Metroid Prime trilogy is a Wii game. I own it.
Yeah.
They're going to re-release it for Switch.
And it's one game, 3 Metroid Primes.
Yeah.
So you pay $60 or whatever it is, and you get that.
Yeah, it's the Metroid Prime trilogy.
I'm going to say no.
I think I'm going to say no as well. I think they're going to release each one for $40.
They could do that too.
Yeah.
No, I think I'm going to say yes. They're just going to do that bundle again because it already exists. So I think they'll just port it from the Wii to the Switch because they're in the habit of porting Wii games to Switch at the moment. Okay, so that's a no from both the yes from Brian.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Sony buys a developer that makes cross-platform games.
I think so. I think Sony has to respond in some capacity, and they need it. Like, this is now an arms race of like gobbling up studios.
Yeah.
I 100% agree.
Yeah, I think so too. Interesting point though is that a lot of the developers they've bought have made exclusive games for them so far, more or less.
Yeah.
There's other game developers like Vanillaware that primarily make PlayStation games, but then 13 Sentinels come out on Switch later this year.
Yeah, Muramasa was a big Wii game.
Was a Wii game. So like, I think at this point, their options are they have to kind of. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, Illumination's untitled Mario film, which is what it's called at the moment, coming December 2022, has a Rotten Tomatoes score above 65% the week of Monday, January 9th, 2023. I'm getting real specific on this one.
I'm going to say yes because Nintendo fans are deranged.
No. I'm not going with the audience score. It has to be the critic score.
I'm going to say yes because critics who are fans of Nintendo are deranged.
Absolutely.
I think people just like Nintendo, Niamh.
I've been watching a lot of game tours and game tour collections.
Okay, I withdraw my objection.
A lot of intense Nintendo fans.
I'm going to say yeah.
Yeah,
because I think the people who wrote that movie have done all the stuff that went down really well.
It's Illumination. Their last 2 films are the Sing movies, and they both have 70% on Rotten Tomatoes. But then the Sonic movie has 63% on Rotten Tomatoes. It's settled on 63.
Oh, weird.
And Detective Pikachu has settled on 68%. So that's why I put 65%. We could go higher if you want.
No,
I think this is a good one.
Yeah,
Okay,
and I think yes.
65%, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, okay, yes from all 3 of us. See, if I go 70%, would that make things more interesting?
Well, what about we do Chris Pratt's performance is hailed as perfect for Mario.
Not hailed as perfect, but people are like, he did okay.
Yeah.
Because no one's going to say it's
yeah,
perfect.
people like it. People think Chris Pratt did a good job.
People really don't like that guy.
But people
go, oh, you did a good job though.
That's but see, like, to me, that's kind of like, it depends on what kind of like community you're a part of is going to say he did a good job or he didn't. Like,
Okay, in the critical, like, reviews.
Chris Pratt does a good job as Mario. No.
I'm gonna say no as well.
I think if we're specifically talking about the critical reviews, like, what if they don't say anything? No, they're gonna say
They're gonna
something.
say something.
How can you not comment on it?
It's like it's one of those face actors doing a fucking Italian accent.
I mean, people hate Chris Pratt with good reason.
Yeah, but see, the thing is, like, we're part of a community that, like, actively hates him because...
Yeah, but I don't think anyone has been like,
But, like...
this is good casting, even if you like the dude.
Can I tell you guys about
But you know how
a
Middle
joke
America
I
would
made
like Chris
about
Pratt?
Chris Pratt on Twitter that I was very proud of?
What did you do?
It was around the time of the voice announcement, and someone made a joke about him being the new Smash character, and I said his down B is that he leaves his wife and becomes a homophobe.
What a jerk.
I was pretty proud of that.
Okay, so then what's the prediction? Is it the Rotten Tomatoes score or is it Chris Pratt?
It's both.
Brian, this is your choice.
I don't know about... Can we just stick with the Rotten
Brian,
Tomatoes?
it's your choice. You can do whatever you want.
Okay.
Brian, we can do both of
We're in
them.
the Brian zone.
Okay. Okay, in that case, I'm going to change the score to be above 70%.
Then no, is my answer. Although...
I'm gonna say yes.
I'm gonna say what has
Okay.
Sing? What is Sing?
The Sing movies are above 70%.
Jesus, people have no taste. Those are shit.
They're not very good. Sonic the Hedgehog, the Ben Schwartz Sonic the Hedgehog movie, settled with 63. Detective
That's
Pikachu.
lower than I would have thought.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. Detective Pikachu settled with 68.
Yes,
People like Detective Pikachu.
I like Detective
Yeah.
Pikachu.
See,
At least the
no.
first half is really good.
But see, this is why I have Monday, January 9, 2023. So, like, that week.
Okay.
Because at that point, the movie is only about 3 weeks old. There'll still be buzz.
Okay.
When, like, it's not after the dust settles that it'll go below a certain number.
Okay, well then I'll say yes to 70 then.
I'm going to say yes to 70 still. John? Yes?
Yeah.
Okay. We're done. Okay, and then got two more. In 2022, and I really phrased this because I was getting pedantic, but it is more or less another video game TV show. So it can be a video game or a video game series, adaptation for either a streaming or a television channel, but a video game TV show, a new one that hasn't been announced. But it needs to have a single promotional image. Because the Mass Effect one did not.
So it's not just an announcement, it has to have
It can't
some
be-
kind of in development.
So if the Mass Effect one gets an image, does that count?
No, because it's already been announced. And like, because sometimes announcements just get text descriptions. Like the PSVR 2 only got a text description as an announcement. It was described in a blog post with no attached images. This has to be a television show of a video game announced with a promotional image. It doesn't have to be a final product, but it has to be
So this is something that's kind of already in development,
yeah,
and we're just going to hear about it.
yeah.
I'm gonna
Does
say
it is animation?
No, like,
Has to be
like,
live
like
action?
so it has to be live action.
No. It could be animation or live action. Sorry, no. It's just because I was thinking about the Mario movie. Because with the Mario movie, we haven't seen anything of that movie except for a poster of the yellow question block. But I count that because at least it was made for that promotion.
Okay, that makes sense. Like, it's not just the logo.
It's not an attached screenshot for a news article that someone in Polygon had to dig up.
Okay, here's my question. Does this attached image have to go with the announcement, or is the attached image, like, can it come later in the year?
It has to go with the announcement.
Okay.
So if one's announced and later gets an image, that should count.
No.
Okay.
Them's the rules.
I'm gonna say
yes.
I think I'm saying no.
I'm going to say yes. Like, Shenmue and Cuphead both got announced with promotional images.
They did.
Yeah, so I'm going to
That's
say...
why I asked about animation, because I think there'll definitely be
Yeah,
a promotional
Straddle.
image with animation, but with
No,
live
it-
action.
Yeah, like, and I'm sure maybe the character designs have been tweaked since, full production, but like they had something, a sample.
Okay, final prediction. I'm kind of sad we don't get to do Smash predictions this year. Those were
Yeah.
always fun.
We got loads anyway.
We did.
Got a sneeze?
No, I got it.
Nice. Make a wish. Okay, this is our wish. What is the new video game movie starring Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson? So, it sort of slipped out that he was working on another video game movie, but then he couldn't say what video game movie it is, but it hasn't been announced yet.
He just said that it was one of the most badass video games.
Now, he's been in the Doom...
Bulletstorm.
Okay, so he was in the Doom movie, and he was in the Rampage movie.
Okay. Those are so diametrically opposed.
Yeah,
Like,
and
you
so-
can turn anything into a video game.
Yeah, and so, like, what's The Rock gonna be in? What's the video game movie he's in that gets announced?
Okay, my guess is Gears.
Oh, that's a good one.
Wow. Yeah, 'cause-
Batista was in Gears.
Yeah, for ages they've wanted to do Batista. Shit, Gears a really good answer.
Yeah,
That is
Niamh, I think
badass.
you got
And
it.
he's a big man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
okay.
is a fridge.
He's not going to be Link.
Okay, Niamh squatters' rights on Gears,
Yeah,
and
that's good. Damn, that could do it.
that's a fucking lock-in.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Fuck. Okay. Can't do Halo because that's already coming. That's a thing, isn't
Yep.
it?
Yeah. The Spielberg series.
Is there anything for that Bungie game that I'm losing the name of?
Halo Destiny.
Destiny. Is there anything with Destiny?
I think they could make a movie out of that.
Is there a Fortnite movie or game?
No, but I would not, like, I could totally see something in the vein of Free Guy.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna say Fortnite.
Fortnite's kind of good as
Yeah,
well, I think.
Fortnite's pretty
Shit.
good.
Badass.
You know my idea earlier about the adult who spent too long playing Pokemon. That's what I want this to be. I want him to be the boss of Detective Pikachu 2. But that's not what I think this is.
No, I think it's a new thing. It's gotta be. It's not a sequel.
Okay, I am going to say I think there's a chance it might be Duke Nukem.
That'd be so funny.
That
Because-
would be pretty good.
There's a lot of nostalgia behind Duke Nukem. I think a lot of people remember Duke Nukem as something really groundbreaking and badass.
And
That would be my guess.
that's also the kind of thing someone weird would financially back.
Yeah.
I hope one of us gets it. I feel like those are 3 really good guesses. And that's our predictions. Wow, that took a while. I bet at this point, when I listen to this back in a year, I'm going to be pissed that this took so long. What do you guys want to say to future me?
I hope Oni has edited some of her talking around in circles bits.
Yeah, sorry, John, but honestly, you brought it on yourself
That's fair.
for stealing my crown.
So, just there is some recording that the crown is mine, that it belongs to me, and that's case closed.
No, I
to
still-
future John, you better have done it. You know what I mean.
John, you're a bull boy, and you're getting a smack on the bum later.
Anyway, that loot drop.
No, we have to do our Patreon
shoutouts.
Patreon shoutouts.
Patreon shoutouts.
Okay, last time we didn't pitch the Patreon. Just gonna pitch it real informally this time. We have a Patreon. It's patreon.com/LFAB. If you want to give us some of your dollars, you can do that if you want. You don't have to, but you can, and that's how I'll leave it.
Okay, I'm gonna pitch it like really formally.
Oh my God.
In a world where online creation can only happen with your help, the Let's Fight a Boss needs you now more than ever. And I'm not just talking to the beautiful, loyal people who have been with us from the beginning, but you, Johnny Come Lately, who has decided not to contribute to our Patreon for probably, legitimate reasons. You don't have to do this, but I'm going to pretend you can. Pretend that you do have to for the rest of this. Just for the sake. But we need you right now. Do you want to know why the Let's Fight a Boss hasn't been bought by Activision? You want to know why we haven't released an NFT? It's because of the wonderful support we get on Patreon, and only you can keep us that pure. I don't want to imagine some kind of nightmare scenario for Let's Fight a Boss, but in a year, we could be talking about how Activision are amazing because we can't say anything bad about our employers. We could also be pushing Diablo coin and selling Call of Duty NFTs. Is this the dark future you want for Let's Fight a Boss? I don't.
Okay, help us protect us from ourselves.
Please.
Is that fair, Niamh?
I think that's fair. And I just want to say thank you to all our new patrons and our old patrons. You guys are really great.
Yeah.
We have a cool Discord where everyone chills out. We have a section called Patreon Shoutouts. You can leave us a message. It'll sound something like this.
Some of these are kind of sad, just because of how long it's been.
Yeah, we used to do 3. Now we're going to do 6, so we do 2 each.
I swear to God, we're going to catch up, guys.
This first one is mine. This is from JTTG. And this dude, he joined the Patreon in 2018. He's an OG. He was one of the first people to join the Discord, and I just want to say thank you very much.
Yeah, totally.
Because I actually went back in time to our Discord, and he's one of the first people that arrived. The date is January 15th, 2020. So that's over 2 years ago now. The Boss Cast has just read my Patreon shout out from March 2019.
Oh, buddy.
Here's to you, El Fabbers of 2021. I hope we all made it. Dude, that was such a different time.
Oh my God.
No.
I want John to say... Okay, hang on a minute. I don't really want it. Okay. Niamh, you're going to make me laugh and I'm going to ruin it. Now that you've got no urine left in you, how will you escape this tetrahedron?
Who's that from?
That's from Sleepiest Slime.
Nice one. This is from Lockbreaker, The Eggening. Do any of you 3 plan on going to Comic-Con in Ireland? This is my shout out.
We've been before.
Yeah.
We've gone a couple. We've tabled a couple of times there.
We've sold there. I will go back when it comes back.
Yeah, same.
When it's safe to do so.
Yeah.
Did we hold a little meetup at a Comic-Con?
We
I
did.
did. I think there's like 6 people.
We did in August 2017 on the top floor of the convention center. We did a little meetup.
For us in August 2017,
Yeah.
6 people is like an impressive turnout.
It is.
Yeah.
And some of those people we didn't know. They were strangers from the internet, and they were so nice.
They were so lovely.
There was one dude who was into throat singing.
Oh my God,
yeah.
yeah. I wonder does he still listen?
I hope you do.
Throat singing dude, drop us an email if you do.
Okay, this one is from Spiffy Smiffy Milk Enthusiast. Kirby lore discussion on May 6, 2021. Do you know what? Absolutely, I'm sure I was considering Kirby lore in my mind, and I hope you were there with me in a spiritual dimension.
This one is from Retrotainment. Oh, Jesus. By the time this shoutout is read, when we should be near MagFest 2022.
It just happened.
Yep. So we are technically near it. So here are my comments relevant to the time. Oh my God, this is wild. Man, I never saw the twist coming in Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2 with Sephiroth bursting into song. Yu Suzuki deciding to allow Robert Eggers to create Shenmue 5 in black and white, chronicling Ryo's brief stint as a lighthouse worker driven to madness, was the best game of the year. No one saw a 3-way tie for queenship happening. No, definitely not.
As if. Niamh.
This is from Zach ... Dad.
But also full stop.
Full stop.
It's just lowercase dad, full stop. Fucking brilliant.
Wow. Those are some great shout-outs.
You really use your shout-outs well, guys.
People in January 2020 were so hopeful.
Yeah. I like the shout-outs where we get, like, is this where I write this? Loot drop.
We've scoured the internet for some fancy videos or links or articles.
So, Niamh, I'm assuming this top one is yours?
No, it's mine.
Wait.
But Niamh can take them if she wants.
Okay.
Wait, but Bryan, you have...
Brian,
two?
Brian has a lot of stuff. He's a very giving dude.
I've got so many. I dare.
Okay, Bryan, you had one at the top of the loot drop docket and another at the bottom. Now, I'm already mad that there's 2 loot drops, but this formatting...
Wait, what's the one at the top?
You know what? Never mind.
Okay, I'm just going to say my stuff and get it out of the way pretty quickly. I don't really have a loot drop because I've been really scraping the barrel of YouTube and watching like room game tours and like thrift shop finds, but then also hoarder documentaries, and I just kind of feel a little like crazy. So I'm going to drop some music. So I was talking about Utada's new album. I'm going to drop a song from that, and I'm going to also drop another song from a band called Go A, who are a Ukrainian band who were in the Eurovision. So if you're from Europe, you've probably heard of them, but I love Go A and I listen to them all the time, and I'm really hoping they release an album sometime soon, so I will drop a great song from them. They do like folk electro pop.
So Brian, I'm seeing these two from you,
Yeah.
but then also the one at the bottom.
Yeah, he has tree, John.
Yeah, but that's what I meant by the one at the bottom. He asked me what the one at the bottom was.
Yeah, the formatting is bad, Brian.
The top two are supposed to be general ones, and I forgot to talk about it. I just thought it was really cool that these Art of Animation books, these coffee table books, they cost like 30, 40 euro, sometimes even more in the secondhand market. The Art of Mitchell's versus the Machines is free to read online at the moment, so there's a link to that. And then also the Art of Luca is free to read as well.
Have you guys watched Mitchell's vs. Machines?
Yeah, I thought it was
I haven't yet. The Art of Luca one, it has a time limit on it, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. I think so does Mitchell's. I think. But yeah, Sony Pictures did Mitchell's, Pixar did Luca. It's needed them to put out their art books for now. I think it's part of the Oscar nominations that it's for your consideration, and they put this stuff out as supplementary material.
Makes sense, yeah.
That makes sense because like there's an issue with people getting people to watch the animated ones. So
Yeah.
maybe if they're like, look at the craft that goes into these,
Yeah, and so
people won't skip over them.
so let's say for the next 3 months they're available this season. So definitely check them out. They're worth looking at. Then do I do my actual loot drop?
Yes, Brian, go for it.
I'll format this better later. Okay, it is Games Done Quick from 2 weeks ago, and it's the part-time UFO run by YK Rin in 26 minutes 59 seconds.
Wow.
Does he fuck up at all?
He does fuck up, because like part-time UFO is physics-based, so there is a lot of just
Very minute, tiny movements.
It's super cool to see how the speedrunner kind of like uses the settling to their advantage, but it's a very, very good run.
I hit like the mini game in that game where you're just building your own tower.
Oh my god.
And that I just played that forever.
It's fucking amazing.
Incredible.
I suck at it, but holy shit, is that addictive.
You don't suck at it, Brian. I remember we were comparing scores and you were like a good like 10 meters above me or something.
I really, really want to get to 100 meters.
I got FD Signifier's Drake and the Death of Hip Hop. FD Signifier is someone I've been watching a bunch of lately, and they're really cool because like he's really able to make you give a shit about subjects that you might not have had any previous subject in. And this is kind of about like basically the effects Drake had on hip hop and how he kind of made it for a new audience and how that was kind of good in some ways and bad in other ways. And it's a really well told story. I think it takes like nearly an hour or something, but it's really interesting and has so many like facets and kind of illuminates a lot about like Drake, but as well as like the people that were kind of considered more legit than Drake for a bunch of reasons, and it was just a really good video. And I think that's gonna do it.
It's another one in the bag, guys.
Another one in the bag, another one in the can.
It's a 3-hour episode.
Oh boy.
Hope you're happy.
I have been your queen, and I bid you farewell.
I'm just happy to be here.
People already know what's up. I don't need to say anything.
Shut up, John.